Assalamu alaikum and a pleasant evening to fellow Toastmasters and distinguished guests. A very warm welcome to all. This is Toastmasters Jayajagi. Today, we shall witness the Club Officers Training, District 122 Toastmasters Territorial Council, Round 1. Before we formally begin, let me read the mission of Toastmasters International and our district mission. Mission of Toastmasters International. We empower individuals to become more effective communicators and leaders. Mission of District. We build new clubs and support all clubs in achieving excellence. Now, to give us a welcome address, may I call our very serious and a compassionate District Director, DTM Zunaid Zafar. Please give a round of applause to DTM Zunaid Zafar. Over to you.
Thank you, fellow Toastmasters. I hope you can hear me and see me. I would like to welcome you all to the Club Officers Training Round 1. Now, you must have seen a lot of advertisement that we have been sharing in the past days. Yes, it's going to be a 3-day event, 2 days over this weekend and 1 day on the 15th of August. And this gap is intentional because during this 2-week gap, you will get to do some stuff that we'll ask you to do, and we'll tell you what you are required to do in the second session, which will be happening tomorrow. Now, these sessions are going to be interactive. Today's session will have one session which will be interactive, but tomorrow's session will have a lot of your involvement. And it's better that all of your club officers are in this training so that you can all work together, think about your plans, and jot down what you're going to do throughout the year to have a successful year. We will be formally starting our session. Now, this is just a welcome address. It's not part of any training. And the benefit of being a district director is that you can come on the screen and say a lot of stuff. But if your team members are not in the meeting right now, call them, message them, text them, go to their home and drag them and get them to attend this training because it will be really useful for the whole of the year. It will be enjoyment, learning, networking, and a lot more. Now, these club officers trainings are actually mandatory for the club officers because if 4 of the club officers attend the trainings of round 1 and round 2, then the club gets credit for that in their DCP goals. In case you are not able to attend any of the 3 sessions, then do remember the second session, which will be happening tomorrow, is mandatory. And along with that, at least 1 session. So in case for any reason, if you are not able to attend the 3rd one, make sure that you are attending the first 2. And if for any reason, any of your club member or officer could not attend today's session, make sure that they attend the remaining 2 sessions. If you attend the second session and at least one of the 2 sessions, the first and the third, then you will get credit towards your club DCP goal. However, if you miss the session 2 or are able to attend only one of the 3 sessions, you will not be getting the credit. Also, viewing the video on YouTube or later sometime will not count towards DCP goal as per the rules of Toastmasters International. These meetings have to be conducted face to face, although not in person nowadays, but they have to be conducted live. So this is a live session, it's not a recorded session, and it's mandatory for all of you to be part of this. You can use the Zoom chat for anything that you want to say during these trainings. If you feel that there's something that is important and you need to address it, leave a message there. If you need to ask a question, again, leave a message there. We will get back to you. In any case, at the end of the 3rd session, which will be happening on 15th of August, you will have a question and answer session. You can jot down all the questions that you have, and we'll give ample time to address those questions and to make sure that you get the best benefit out of these trainings. Now, these trainings are happening virtually. So many people at the moment, I believe there are more than 100 people in this meeting, and hopefully we'll have somewhere around 130, 150 or even more people in these trainings. We don't know if you're attentive or not, if you are fully involved in this training, if you're getting the best out of it or not. And for that, we trust in you. We believe in you because we believe that all of us know and will be following the core values of Toastmasters International, integrity being the first one. So if you are attending this meeting, if you are going to get credit for this training, then make sure to have your integrity strong so that you are most attentive, getting the best benefit, because what you learn here, that you will be able to take back to your club and to your club members. Again, other core values such as respect. Respect everyone. If you feel that something is not right as per your beliefs, if something can be done in a better manner, do tell us, but tell in a respectable manner. Then we have service. All of you are serving all the club members and the members of Toastmasters International. And it's great of you that you're here not only to learn, but also to help others get the best out of the Toastmasters experience. And the 4th value. Can anyone tell me what the 4th value is? Okay, let me tell you, it's excellence. Something that we all are striving for. This club officer training, the objective of it is to make sure that we all excel in our fields, excel in whatever we are doing, whatever thing that we are delivering, whatever project we are delivering, we are excelling at it. We are doing the best that we believe we can. And with every coming day, we are a better version of ourselves. This is our mission. This is our something that we are striving for, and we hope that all of you will also be keeping in mind all of these core values and getting the best benefit out of this really immersive 3-day long training. We have 30 trainers, very experienced in all of their respective fields, and they'll be able to help you and answer any of your queries that you have. Now, I won't take much time of yours because this time is really precious. So I'll hand over the stage back to our Master of Ceremony, Jaya Jaggi, who will announce our next trainer and hand over the control to them. Back to Master of Ceremony. Happy trainings.
Thank you. Perfect. Have you ever wondered how to create a quality club? If yes, you have landed at a right place, as our first session is on creating a quality club. And I take pride in inviting our program quality director, who does not need any introduction, DTM Talha bin Hamid, who shall be guiding us on creating a quality club. Please give a round of applause to DTM Talha bin Hamid, Program Quality Director.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster Jaya. And the question that is on everyone's mind is, am I audible and visible? Okay, so I will start by sharing the slideshow. Okay, is my slideshow also visible? Toastmaster Jay, you can comment. Okay, so fellow Toastmasters and guests, first of all, thanks from the bottom of my heart for joining this session. And I hope we will learn together about creating a quality club, because after all, this is all what this training is about. Let me start by making all of us uncomfortable. You know, there is something called moments of truth. So yes, these are a few moments of truth that I have gained from my personal experience. To a guest, your club is only as good as its current meeting. You may be celebrating your 1000th meeting, but to a first timer, the day, the moment, that hour is the most important hour. To someone who doesn't know you, you are only as good as your latest speech. To someone who haven't heard you before, this is the here and now, this is what counts. Thirdly, forget leadership, remember only service. And this is the Toastmasters mantra, because uh, a leadership position in Toastmasters is not a license to order people around, not a license to throw your title around, not a license to exert any sort of influence amongst your friends, colleagues, or family. Instead, it's a license to serve. It's a license to reach out to the community and make your contribution. It's a demand and not a privilege. And finally, forget yourself, only your audience matters. And this is a distillation of what Toastmasters teaches about public speaking. You don't matter. If you go on the stage and you fall in love with your own voice and ideas, and you are just speaking to hear yourself speak, that is next to useless. You need to communicate to the audience. You need to be at one with the audience. You need to remove your personal preferences, your personal preconceptions, and you need to only think about the audience, and that's what makes a successful speech. So these are 4 points that will dictate my proposed approach to creating a quality club. So what is a Toastmasters Club? It can be so many things to so many people. It's a nice place to hang out. It's a networking forum. It's a skill development school. And it's an educational experience. During the recent times, while we together have been striving for expansion in the Toastmasters cause within Found, that, there are so many nice places to hang out. There's no shortage. There are social forums. Yes, right now they're limited, but they used to be. And similarly, there's no shortage of networking forums. But the way we can sell Toastmasters most effectively is as a skill development school and as an educational experience, especially to those people who are interested in enhancing their skills, to those organizations who want their employees to have the best possible soft skills. These two are the selling points. Club quality is a science, it's not an accident. This is what I've learned over 4 years as Toastmaster. You have to make it happen. It does not occur naturally. It cannot happen by an accident. It won't happen by itself. It needs to be managed meeting after meeting, segment after segment, speech after speech. There's no two ways about it. If you really want to create a quality club, you will have to put the time and effort to actually actively manage the quality of your club. It needs to be sustained. You cannot get away with one glorious meeting and then a string of lackluster meetings. Every meeting has to be a success. And this brings me to my next point, total quality management of all segments. I believe most of us have heard of total quality management. So it's a management system which ensures quality at every stage of creation of a product. And make no mistake, a Toastmasters meeting is an event. It's a product, and it's a product you're trying to sell to guests and to your members as well. Why to members? Because if you're not successful in selling, they won't be able to renew. They won't renew, and your club won't be successful. So it's all connected. Total quality management means that every aspect of the club, from the preparation of the meeting to the meeting obviously, if you have to manage a club with respect to quality mistakes, but the mistakes that are made towards ensuring total quality are vastly superior to the mistakes that result from inaction or laziness or unwillingness to do something about a problem. So creating a quality club encompasses three areas: member experience, club foundation, and teamwork. Now, what about member experience? This thing I learned from one of my mentors, that in Toastmasters hierarchy, members are at the top. No, you might be the district director or the program quality director or the area director. You might be the regional advisor. You might be the CEO of Toastmasters. You might be the international president. But in this hierarchy, you are always towards the bottom, because at Toastmasters, whether it's at a club level or national level or regional level or worldwide level, members are at the top. Second priority is given to guests. The third is XCOM, and the fourth is president. Now, why the president is at the bottom? The president is at the bottom because remember my sentence about the position being a license to serve. As a president, you're not at the top. As a president, you cannot push your team relentlessly because, after all, it's a volunteer organization. As president, you need to ensure the performance of your team, but you also have to plug in the gaps. You cannot simply make endless demands on your team members and then expect that they will be fulfilled without monitoring and without contributing. So, as president, be prepared to make the biggest contribution towards the running of the club. So this is the Toastmasters diagram of what actually club quality is all about. First of all, experiential learning. So we learn by doing, that's what we've heard, and this is the summary of experiential learning. This is world's most proven learning method because remember, if you have studied science in school or college, what do you remember the most? Do you remember the text in the textbooks? Or do you remember dissecting a frog? Do you remember titration? Or do you remember salt analysis? Those things are ingrained in your mind because you did them. You did not just study them, you did them. So this is what Toastmasters is all about. One of my favorite writers, Stephen King, says that the only way to learn to write is to write. And that's what I say to all the speakers and all the members. You need to just sit down and write. That's how you learn. Write and then read, and that's how you learn. It's an endless feedback loop. Similarly, speaking, performing a leadership role, you cannot know 100% about it unless you actually jump into it. Secondly, self-paced program. Anybody can pace this program according to their own schedules, according to their own needs, according to their own appetite for this program, and according to their own pressing needs or career needs. This is the beauty of it. So you can pace yourself, you can zip through a pathway, or you can crawl through a pathway. It's entirely up to you. The only thing that Toastmasters requires, and this is something that I will touch upon in a little time, is that you actually have a program. You cannot depend on others to actually manage your educational progress. Ultimately, it's you who have to manage your educational progress, and by you, I mean a club member. Peer feedback, again, the best kind of feedback, and in Toastmasters, feedback is at its best. I know of no other environment which is as friendly and as accommodating as Toastmasters in terms of feedback, and that's another beauty. It's based on a mechanism of peer feedback where people just like you evaluate you, and their evaluation, their feedback is easier for you to digest because they're just like you. They're not speaking to you from a high horse. They're not speaking to you from a position of dominance. They're speaking to you as friends and peers. And that's the best kind of feedback because let's face it, in real life, who do you listen to the most? Your parents, your teachers, or your grandparents, or your friends? Therein lies the answer. And the last pillar is mentoring. Every Toastmaster who walks in is assigned a mentor. And every Toastmaster who walks into a Toastmaster club ultimately becomes a mentor. And this is another beautiful chain. Mentoring doesn't just end at the first 3 projects. Remember, that's a technical requirement. But I have seen that many people who have completed old curriculum, for example, CC or CL manual, or even DTM, they have asked me, they have approached me for mentors to start their pathways because they are embarking on this path all over again after several years. And this brings me to another pillar, which is not here, but it's very much part of the equation. Use it or lose it. If you get out of touch of Toastmasters, if you stop doing projects, if you stop doing evaluations for several months, the skills that you've acquired will gradually start to sink deeper into your subconscious. They will not be readily available to you. So if you haven't made a speech in 6 months, don't expect to get on the stage and conquer the audience like you did. It will take you a few weeks to get up to speed. So keep that in mind. And that's why the best possible addressing of this situation is never to let those set of skills slip away. Toastmasters Club mission. We provide a supportive and positive learning experience in which members are empowered to develop communication and leadership skills, resulting in greater self-confidence and personal growth. So members are empowered, a key word, because members have power in Toastmasters. Everything that a Toastmasters Club does, every decision that XCOM takes has to be approved by Toastmasters Club members. Secondly, they are empowered to develop communication and leadership skills, resulting in greater self-confidence and personal growth. So greater self-confidence and personal growth. What do we mean by this? It's not just about career growth. I mean, if you peg Toastmasters down into a career boosting discipline, that is doing a gross injustice to Toastmasters. What I've discovered through my personal experience at Toastmasters is that Toastmasters first makes you a writer, and then it makes you better at anything that you do. So if you are a blogger, if you're an entrepreneur, if you're a poet or a writer, an analyst, or a professional advertising copywriter, no matter who you are, Toastmasters will make you better at it. And it will do so while improving your basic communication and leadership skills. So there's no discipline like it, and that's what we should sell to the members as well as to the guests. Integrity, respect, service, and excellence, they should be embedded into us by now. And if you've ever wondered why this has not been rearranged into a convenient acronym, for example, respect, integrity, service, excellence, RISE, the reason is that integrity is at the top. Integrity has to be at the top. Integrity pervades every aspect of Toastmasters, so yes, it has to be at the top. And that includes, as our district director pointed out, that includes attending this meeting with your full heart and mind. That includes honestly delivering your projects. That includes managing your educational progress and the educational progress of your club with full integrity. Then comes respect, and then service and excellence. We are founded on mutual respect. We respect each other, no matter if it's a guest or if it's a member. There's absolutely no distinction between a distinguished Toastmaster and a guest. Both are considered equal. Service, Toastmasters is all about service. We are a volunteer organization, so that's what we should all remember. And of course, excellence. We should find excellence in everything we do. And the smartest way to do is to actually strive for continuous improvement. You know, sometimes we set lofty ideals for our club or for ourselves, and we end up not meeting them and then getting demotivated. Instead, the far easier way is to establish a discipline of continuous improvement. And this is also something that I plan to touch upon sometime later. We have to safeguard the Toastmasters brand. And this is the so-called elevator pitch that I'm sure many of you have already read. And I don't think anyone has memorized it, but We have read it so many times that it has become second nature. So the crux of this is that leaders can be made. It's yes, there's no denying that there are some people who have God-gifted leadership abilities. But you know what? Not all of them become leaders. And not all of the leaders have God-gifted leadership abilities. So this is the principle on which Toastmasters is founded. You can be a communicator, you can be a God-gifted communicator, which is good for you, but you can also learn to be a great communicator. And you can get so good that people can start calling you God-gifted. Similarly, you can become a leader, and you can become a leader so good that people start calling you God-gifted. Because after all, who told God to grant all these gifts only at birth? God can grant those gifts even during your lifetime. When you're 30, 40, 50, 60, who's stopping God from bestowing all these gifts of leadership and communication? The only thing is that you have to work for it, just like you have to work for everything in life. So there are some keywords that dictate our brand personality. First of all, leader. Then we are dedicated, we are helpful, and we are empowering. And remember, in order to uphold this brand, we need to be exhibited at every situation that we are in, and not just Toastmasters. This is what Toastmasters is about. Taking the skills and the traits and the abilities you gain during Toastmasters program out to the real world and telling them that this is what Toastmasters is and this is what it does. So the key selling points: world's best skills development program and world's least expensive skill development program. You won't find those combined anywhere else. And that is my experience. See, many of us are also trainers, and we know how expensive 1 or 2 day trainings can get. And here we are providing years and years of training at the same cost that would get you maybe one session in another training program. And that is the best training program because it is sustained, it is repetitive, it is reinforcing. It does not give you a 5-hour session and then send you home. It reinforces the abilities and the skills. Then we have some moments of truth, and we will have a detailed moment of truth later in this training. But here I will share some of my experiences regarding these moments of truth. So first impressions. What is the environment of the club? What is the tone of the proceedings? I was told by someone very recently that, your home club is too serious. And yes, I agree. The proceedings can get too serious. They are quite professional and very buttoned down. So yes, that means that we need to find some ways to actually loosen up things a little bit. So this was one moment of truth. Then whether the guests and the members are greeted or not. Agendas are circulated to guests and everybody knows what's going on, because this is the most popular question that I hear. Whenever a guest comes, and even after they've attended the whole meeting, they say, what's going on? What did I just experience? Because we don't realize this, but Toastmasters meeting agenda, even an ordinary one, is far too complicated for an uninitiated person to decipher. So someone needs to explain that. And yes, Toastmaster of the day or of the evening does that at every club meeting start, but sometimes that may not prove to be enough. And then we need to reinforce the benefits of membership when a guest walks in. They find a nice environment, they find people speaking. We need to tell them that you can be on that stage too. You can be the evaluator too. You can play a role of the timer or the grammarian too. So this is what will pull them in. Membership orientation, we need to be very, very transparent upfront, because I have had a personal bad experience. There was one person that walked into our home club, I think a year or so ago. And at that point in time, I was a little bit guarded about the membership costs, not because I wanted to be, I just didn't give it enough attention. And I quoted him an incorrect figure. And later, when they got in touch on WhatsApp, I quoted them a different figure. And they said that, you can make up your own mind about the membership cost of your club, and you claim to be like a 4-year-old Toastmaster, and you claim to be a past president and everything. So yeah, the moment was lost. I mean, seriously, that person never got in touch again. If they had gotten in touch, I would have offered them all sorts of explanations. So that one minor, uh, you could say, mistake or error, which was not even deliberate, that cost a potential member. Endless questions will come from members, especially regarding pathways, and be prepared to answer them again and again and again. They should know who to contact, because being a club president or a club excom member, it is terribly tempting to actually make yourself point of contact for all newcomers. But please don't do that, because you will tire of it. You will then delay the responses. Create a team. The VP memberships team should ideally be fielding all the questions. So spread it between 4 or 5 people so that anybody can manage it on their own in a satisfactory manner. Mentorship. Any member who walks in should be assigned a mentor instantly. Yes, we sometimes neglect to do that. Sometimes that member completes a level even without a mentor. And that's not good then when you suddenly assign a mentor to them. Overview of the Pathways program. This is very, very important. And yes, let me tell you this, you will need to do this again and again and again. There's no two ways about it. It's not easily understandable by people even now, although they've improved it quite a bit. But to a completely uninitiated person, it may sound very complex. So you need to make them very easy, and you need to explain to them again and again. Fellowship, variety, and communication. So what is fellowship? Some clubs are guest oriented and some clubs are member oriented. So some clubs are obsessed about keeping everything for their members and servicing their members because they're not exactly in need of new guests. Yes, it may sound mean, but that's the truth. And some clubs may go all out to attract new members, right? So it depends upon the club how they want to operate. For example, the club may decide that, let's not induct new members. Let's first service the current members, and then we can go back to the induction mode. So it depends on the club's dynamics. What do you mean by fellowship? Do you engage the guests or do you engage the members? Remember the members. I will say it again and again. Yes, guests are important, but members are more important because they have paid the fees and they are the prime candidates for future renewals as well, to put it bluntly. Standard avenues of variety, varied projects, speakers, stable topics. So this is what needs to be looked at by the president and the VP education, that when they're setting out an agenda, it should be varied, it should contain some exciting speeches. There are some projects that may not be that interesting inherently. For example, let's say Introduction to Toastmasters Mentoring is largely a theoretical project. So that can be counterset by something exciting, like an icebreaker, or like some humorous speech or a entertaining speech. Again, it depends upon the VP education who have approached them for slots and how they plan to meet them out. Non-standard avenues of variety. So some clubs do this very well. Themes, special segments, keynotes. So it is, again, it is entirely up to the club XCOM. You need to decide that how entertaining you want the meeting to be and how much sacrifice you're willing to make towards conventional meeting segments in order to incorporate these non-standard avenues, for example, themes and special segments, keynotes. So the meetings can be themed as well. And lately, I'm very, very excited to see that themed meetings have really, really caught on in Pakistan as well, thanks to some very young and dynamic presidents and VPs. So kudos to them. And lastly, keep your members first. Again, don't behave like a human resources department of companies and roll out a red carpet for applicants and probationers and forget about those who you have hired. So keep your members first. Program planning. Again, this is something that I'll touch upon later as well in the training for program planning. But let me just touch upon briefly that, Toastmaster Jaya, can you please confirm to me at precisely what minute am I supposed to end this?
Talab,
Just a minute.
there's a
It's
timer in, if you look at the participants, there's a video going on as timer and there's a time going on. So you
Yeah.
have,
Okay, I saw it. I saw it. Okay, fine. Fair enough. So the timer says 17 minutes. Okay, fine. And this is a 30-minute segment. Fair enough. Okay, thank you so much. So, okay, program planning. So encourage every member to open their pathway now. Entire pathway is open. You can click on any project and find out what it requires. So ask every member to actually open the pathway and prepare a roadmap for themselves. How long they intend to take to complete a pathway. Can be 3 months, 6 months, even 1 year. No compulsion in that respect. The only compulsion is that they need to have a plan. Why? Because imagine if 20 members submit their roadmap to the VP Education, the VP Education automatically has the agenda for the next 6 months. And they will be the committed agendas. They won't be the agendas where the VP Education has to chase after the members that, we have a slot, please make a speech. Instead, it was what the members will be committing. So that is something. They will be committing something to the club, so they will make good on it. And it will make the XCOM job easier as well. They will need to see that how frequently the meetings need to be and how long the meetings need to be. And everything will be laid out for them because they will have the members' plans before them. Agenda needs to be set on continuous rolling basis, and just make sure that there's a good divide of people who are making speeches. The same person should not be making all the speeches all the time. Segments need to be strictly timed. Beware of dark time. So what is this dark time? It's just my fancy term because I'm interested in also theoretical physics and everything. So just like dark matter, there's dark time, which is the time that is spent in transitions and, some unforeseen things, the delays that end up delaying a meeting by 20, 25 minutes even. So beware of that. We recently conducted an analysis at our club where we discovered that 20 minutes fell victim to this dark time. Something that we didn't plan for, or unforeseen transitions, or people checking, am I audible and visible twice? So all that. Members need to be prioritized. Again, this is my mantra: members. 3 opportunities for guest activity: introduction, table topics, and remarks. But one of the creative solutions is that sometimes the agenda may be packed, so you may elect to merge introduction and remarks. That's what we did because we were very much pressed for time and we were getting late. So if your meeting is suffering a delay in the start, you may think about skipping the guest introduction and keeping it for the end along with the guest remarks, so that both the things can be addressed simultaneously. But again, these sort of creative solutions can be arrived on, and there's no standard solution to that. Membership strength. Your real strength is engaged members. So members who are doing projects, they are your real strength. Members who are coming to meetings, members who are doing roles, they are your real strength. Ensure educational progress and renewals will be a breeze. Make it easy to renew. Again, you can provide them various incentives to renew, and you can even ease the process for them. For example, since the payment is via credit card, you can tell them that you can pay in X number. Again, depends from club to club. Facilitating members for job search, providing a platform to showcase their skills or service, or even assisting them in a crisis. So this is what comes with a sense of family that Toastmasters develops. And if you will make a conscious effort to solve members' problems, which are even outside of Toastmasters, or drawing on the member's body to solve these problems for them, trust me, there will always be someone who will be able to help. You just need to call out, and you'll be amazed by the results. I know I have been. And that will make the bond even stronger. Achievement recognition. You can have standard Toastmasters award, additional awards in club meetings, critics choice, role players. celebrating educational awards and celebrating real life successes. Leave no stone unturned in terms of celebration. You can celebrate anything about your members. The more you celebrate, the more valued the members will feel. Executive committee duties: create a club budget, club success plan, success and distinguished club program, and create and oversee other club committees as necessary. So these are all the duties of executive committee. I'll briefly touch upon the distinguished club program. I'll skip on some of the parts. So everybody knows that we need certain educational awards. Then we have club officers training, membership, 8 new members and 4 new members. And when we reach 5 of these goals, we will reach distinguished club, select distinguished club, and president distinguished club. So this is all very well. And I believe this is for most of these items, most of the attendees today are familiar with. How to achieve that? Now, this is something that I plan to introduce in my term as program quality director. The first is called speech quality index. And this format will also be shared with everyone after the training. This is nothing but a condensed version of the International Speech Contest ballot. What does this do? It actually allows you to monitor the quality of speeches that are being made at the club. And you add up all these and you work out an average, and you will automatically know week after week, meeting after meeting, how your club members are doing. How do you do that? You assign a secret judge. We have been doing it at Karachi Toastmasters Club for a few months now, and it has worked quite well. You assign a secret judge who scores the speeches, and remember, this is absolutely separate from evaluation. This is absolutely separate from the best speaker voting. This is according to the critics' choice, and this is according to the International Speech Contest criteria. What this does is encourage the members to make a compelling speech out of any project. Make a speech out of even a boring topic, as if they were speaking on the stage of World Championship of Public Speaking. So once you evaluate these speeches and once you assign a score, then we move on to the next, which is the meeting quality index. Now this has some criteria which are very common criteria. For example, meeting started on time. If it is more than 20 minutes late, you get 0 points. Within 20 minutes, 1 point. Within 15 minutes, 2 points. Within 3 minutes, within 10 minutes, 3 points. And if it's on time, you get whole 5 points. Similarly, same goes for meeting ending. Then role assigned and confirmed well before the start of the meeting. It's a simple no-yes question. If they were, you get the whole 5 points. Role players followed their timeline. This is a very, very important factor in contributing to the delays in meeting. So if most of them followed it, you get 3 points. If all of them did, 5 points again. Members attendance, less than 40% of your strength, up to 50%, up to 60%, up to 70%. And if more than 70%, you get the whole 5 points. Similarly for guests, 0, 2, 3, and 3. Again, more than 5 guests, you get the whole 5 points. Number of projects, if it were like 1 or less, 0 points, then 2 or 3. And if it were more than 4 projects, you get the whole 5 points. And why am I stressing on this? Because this will actually help you ensure that your clubs meet the distinguished club goal. Similarly, speech quality, again from the speech quality index, that contributes the most to this index, 10 points out of 50. So whatever the score is, it will come here. And then conversion of guest into member. If you convert 1 member, it will be 3 points. And if you convert more than 1, you can get the whole 5 points. So this essentially takes care of everything that is there in the Distinguished Club program, with the difference that this will be monitored by the executive committee, the president, the VPE, the next day after the meeting. It's a very, very easy format to fill. But if you continue to do this meeting after meeting, believe me, you will have the best tool possible to gauge your club quality. You know, we all are familiar with the Distinguished Club program sheet, but this is a condensed version which will actually quantify everything for you. So I will inshallah be creating the program quality team immediately after this training, and I will be disseminating these indexes. So how do you fill these indexes? preferably the president and the VPE fill these and share it with the XCOM after every meeting. And the XCOM deliberates, compare it with the last meeting quality index score, and then they can discuss that, what went wrong, what went right, what we can improve. And they will have a continued record of meeting quality. So this is my idea. It is not a Toastmasters standard requirement. It is not a district standard requirement. It's a tool to tangibly monitor the quality of your index, and you're all strongly encouraged to monitor it. But again, the only competition you have is your own club. Your own club last week versus your own club this week, or your own club last meeting versus your own club this meeting. It's not a race. There will be absolutely no comparison between the scores of two clubs. This remains within your executive committee, but I will very, very strongly request you to actually use this tool. And since I also happen to be the VP education of one club, so obviously I'm putting my money where my mouth is, and I will be starting using it with the effect from next meeting. And trust me, since most of us are accountant and all of us are very comfortable with mathematics, this will bring the distinguished club program into something distant and intangible initially to something that is very tangible, and that is part of the active management of the club quality. Remember, in the beginning I said you are only as good, your club is only as good as your latest meeting. You are only as good as your latest speech. So, and there's another added benefit to this. If you look at the speech quality index, you can create a ranking and you can announce a Critics' Choice Best Speaker Award in addition to the voting Best Speaker Award. Because sometimes what happens, we're all familiar with that situation. We make the speech of our lives, and yet the audience votes for someone else because they were better entertained by that speech. Remember, entertainment does not equate to quality. That is true for both speeches and meetings. So this will be a qualitative analysis, and this will help all of the speakers not only stick to the project description, but also evaluate their speaking skills in terms of their journal entertainment value, their journal capacity to reach the audience. So this is a potentially game-changing approach to speech quality and meeting quality management. And inshallah, I believe if we stick to it, and of course, it will be evolving. If there is some, after let's say 1 month or 2 months of doing this, and someone proposes something, some amendment or addition, most
Do we have
We lost your
DTM?
voice. This is also your last 5-minute mark, so better start wrapping up. If you can hear me, just give me a thumbs up. Okay, seems like some electricity issue there because the light has gone down at PQD Tala's side. Hopefully he'll be back in a minute to wrap things up. Tala, you're on mute.
Yeah. Actually, I got disconnected due to, remember everyone, I'm in Karachi, so we had a power outage. So I hope I'm audible now.
Yes, you are.
Okay. Thank you so much. Okay. So, okay.
Tala, this is your last 4-minute mark. Better start wrapping up.
Yeah, of course. So, yeah. So the encouraging sign is that only 2 or 3 slides are left. So, okay. So, yes. So picking up from where I left, I will strongly encourage you to start using this tool. Club quality is a science. It is not an accident. You have to work hard to ensure it. It is not a natural phenomenon. It is brought about through various tools. It won't happen by itself. It needs to be actively managed. It needs to be sustained, and total quality management of all segments of the meeting needs to be ensured. So I hope, fellow Toastmasters and guests, that you all got a good insight into the approaches that we can ensure to ensure club quality, and some innovative approaches that I've tried to bring about, because with the changing times, we all constantly need to evolve. And I'm very, very sure. First of all, I'm very, very thrilled with the quality of clubs in Pakistan in general. I have absolutely no doubt that we can compete with the best. Now, the target is to become the world's best club, because in my manifesto, I stated that I want every club to be a world-class club, and I want every speech to be of that quality which is made at the stage of the World Championship of Public Speaking. And I believe with the help of these two tools, inshallah, we will be able to achieve that. So over to you. I've been very politely reminded to end this. So over to you, Master of Ceremonies, Toastmaster Jia.
Indeed, club quality is a science. And congratulations, everyone. We are all graduated now. It's time to get expertise on another subject. As you all know, that evaluation is the heart of Toastmasters meeting and serve as nourishment for Toastmasters. Let's have these nourishment. Let's learn the art of effective evaluations and club quality from winner of district evaluation contest, Toastmaster Anil Peter, who is a chartered accountant by profession and a Toastmasters by passion. Give a round of applause to Toastmaster Anil Peter.
Thank you, Toastmaster Jaya. Can you all see me? Can you all hear me?
Yes, we can see you and we can hear you.
And you can see my screen as well, right?
Right.
Perfect. Thank you very much. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. I'm very glad to be here. It's a pleasure to be here with all of you. Hope you enjoyed the session with DTM Talha so far. My name is Anil Peter, and in the next 10 minutes or so, I'm going to talk about effective evaluations, or how to conduct effective evaluations, and how do they contribute in improving the quality of the clubs and the members. I just have 6 slides prepared for you. The reason is because I do not want this to be a slide-related session. I would in fact want all of us to be a bit more interactive, so that whenever you want to talk about evaluations or comment or ask anything, please feel free, because I am not going to just focus on the slides I have. This reminds me, in the previous presentation, DTM Tala had a slide about the quality index of a meeting, and it showed greater than 20M or 20M, something like that. So if being an accountant, I look at it, M stands for million. So I was thinking, what if we as a club were used to give it, if we are not late throughout the year, we were given 20 million rupees. So that would have been great, right? So time in any case is money. Even if we are given money or not for being late or being on time, time still remains money. So my job is to first of all, make sure that we are on the same page when it comes to evaluation. So can anyone tell me, what is an evaluation? What are we talking about here? Anyone? Please unmute. Please let me know, what do you think evaluation means or stands for when it comes to Toastmasters?
Constructive criticism.
Observation.
Okay. Observation, constructive criticism. So I'll use that as 2 parts, constructive and criticism.
Constructive feedback.
Could you repeat that? Constructive feedback, constructive criticism, observation. Good.
Self-mirror.
Self-mirror. So very good.
Motivating and elevating. Motivating.
Highlight areas for improvement.
Absolutely right. Now, all of you, what we have got 4 or 5 responses.
Correct someone.
Trying to connect with somebody. Evaluation is a form of feedback, yes, but it is not criticism and it is not opinion as well. What evaluation is, it is a feedback based on observation and analysis. Unless and until you don't observe someone or something, you cannot comment on that. And just seeing something or observing something is not enough. You have to analyze as well. If I just ask any one of you right now to give me feedback how I am talking, I'm pretty sure you can speak, but you will do a much better job if I tell you to take 5 minutes and then tell me how I am talking and presenting. And then you'll be able to not just observe, but base your analysis on that observation. But it is different from an opinion, or it is not criticism. The reason is, as mentioned by another Toastmaster, it needs to be constructive. We are trying to build our Toastmasters. We are trying to push them to grow. And as a result of that, if members grow, the clubs grow as well. So if it's a criticism or sounds like a criticism, then we may stop the journey of a Toastmaster right there. Especially if that's an icebreaker or a first or second level project, then the people may get demotivated. So it is very important to understand that when we are evaluating, we have to make sure we are attentive, we are observing, we are analyzing, and we are not sharing our opinion with the people. For example, an opinion is, if I have to give an opinion on a good speech, I just go on a stage and after somebody's speech, and instead of evaluating, I'll say that a good speech should have a good body language, should have vocal variety, hand gestures, use of visual aids, things like that. But that is what things should be there. Unless that feedback with what people have just seen, they will not be able to understand whether it's an event on the stage that in my opinion, for example, the body language of the speaker good. He was moving around on the stage using hand gestures with examples. We'll come to that. But for
Toastmaster Anil, are you there? I think Toastmaster Anil is having connectivity issues.
He's not connected right now, so we can wait for 30 seconds more. If he connects back, that's fine. Otherwise, we'll move to the next speaker, and then we'll try to adjust this sometime later in the training.
DTM Zonazafar, Toastmaster Anil will be in the meeting in the next few minutes. He is trying to reconnect. We can just wait for a few seconds.
Sure.
While we are waiting, DTM Talha can ask questions from the audience to see if they were attentive or not during his presentation.
So we can take this time to request everyone to please change your names to reflect your role and your club so that the registration manager can easily mark your attendance, which is really necessary. I see Anil connecting back.
Toastmaster Anil has back. He has just joined the meeting.
hello, I'm back. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can.
Yes, we can.
And if I can please be allowed to share my screen again.
Yes, you are allowed.
Anil, please also keep a check on the time, although some time has been lost, but try to cover that,
Yes,
please.
I will. So We were talking about being constructive and making sure that we are not stopping the journey of the Toastmaster before it has even started. So the example I was giving was that making sure that our evaluation does not come out as an opinion. It should come out as evaluation and as honest feedback, which helps the Toastmasters grow. Now, we have talked about what is an evaluation, but let's talk about why do we need evaluation? Can we not do without this big chunk of session or part of the sessions in a Toastmasters meeting? We've all heard about it as breakfast of champions. But the thing is, why breakfast? Why not lunch? Why not dinner? Why not some snack? Why it has to be a breakfast of champions? Because the improvement journey starts with the process of feedback. Unless and until we do not know where we lag or what are the things we can improve upon, we cannot improve. As I'm saying, it is impossible to improve, in my humble opinion, without evaluations. Some of you may say that you have not been properly given feedback or evaluation before and you still have been improving. Well, in that case, you are your biggest evaluator yourself. When you record your speeches or you practice in front of a mirror, as one of the Toastmasters mentioned, or even in your head when you're practicing, you're telling yourself that this is how I need to improve, or these are the areas which I'm not doing well. So not just we have to be ready to give evaluations, because it's a breakfast of champions and we cannot improve without an evaluation, we should be always ready to receive evaluations. And anybody who gives us good, honest feedback is our biggest, best friend, in my opinion. Now, just to look at some of the ways of giving effective evaluations. In my humble opinion, there are 3 Ks which we should all be aware of. The first one is know your audience. Unless and until you don't know what kind of a person or Toastmaster you're evaluating, your evaluation will not be spot on. For example, when you're evaluating somebody who is delivering an icebreaker, as compared to somebody who's delivering the 10th or 20th project, your evaluation cannot be at the same level. The evaluation for an icebreaker should be so subtle, so gentle, that that person fills with confidence and wants to go on and on and on and come back on the stage again and again and again. If you tell a person, obviously there will be so many things to improve in an icebreaker because it's the first ever speech of a person. But if you say your stage presence was not good, your voice was not clear, your hand gestures were not visible, you could have added this and that in the speech, then the person will be like, what to do? But I would say observe and analyze and make sure you point out a lot of good things, that you came on the stage, you made an effort, you sounded you're having a good time, you shared your personal stories, and then just 1 or 2 subtle improvement suggestions so that the person does not get demotivated. But if you're evaluating a person who is delivering 10th or 20th project, for example, lay it out there. I suggest be very open in a good, professional, encouraging manner, always, but lay it out. Tell the person that these are the good things which you love. These are the things which are not bad things, but which can be improved upon. That's the difference between opinion and evaluation. And you cannot do that unless you know the objective of the speech or of the person you're evaluating. If you know that the objective of the speech was that it should be research-based and the person should have research about the project, then you would know that even if they delivered an excellent speech with everything covered, all the boxes ticked, but the speech was not research-based, the objective was still not met. And if the objective is not met, that should be told or informed to the speaker. And that's how you make sure that by knowing the audience and by knowing the objective, you deliver a good evaluation. But when you're delivering an evaluation, you should also keep where you're delivering an evaluation, people, or about 150 people right now, you should make sure that you are more gentle, more encouraging, more subtle. In an evaluation, one-to-one, as a mentor, then you can be more direct. the person things which are more straightforward, so that when you are giving an evaluation, but feels that he's given good points to upon. And some tips which you can keep in mind are always keep on improving as a Toastmaster.
I believe Toastmaster Anil has lost his connection. Technical host, can you please confirm?
I'm here. I'm here. Can you hear me? Can you see me? Toastmaster Chair, can you hear me?
Yes,
Yeah,
Toastmaster Anil, we can hear
Okay.
you and see you.
Anil, please try to wrap up. We're over time.
One more slide after this. So the evaluation that we were talking about, always use examples when you're giving a evaluation. If you just say your voice was good, it's no use unless you say your vocal variety was good when you said, yes, I got the job. Or if you're giving a problem that's saying, okay, fine, you did something very well, like your hand gestures were good. Say that when you celebrated or when you're showing the scaring sign, then your hand gestures were precise. So by giving examples, you can make people relate with what you are trying to say. And last thing, address everyone when you're giving an evaluation. A lot of people just make it a one-on-one conversation with the person they're evaluating, and they alienate the whole audience. My suggestion is everybody engaged and talk about them, that Toastmaster so-and-so did this, so that everybody can learn from that and everybody feels engaged in the conversation, and it's not just a one-on-one conversation. So last thing, just to wrap up, evaluations lead to better quality. A lot of times when guests visit our clubs, they say that the best thing which they liked in a meeting was the evaluation part, because they feel that that's the area where everybody can learn and grow. And you have to make sure, because of that, that not just evaluators, all the people who are members should be ready to receive evaluation and should have open minds that evaluations will help them grow and will help them get better. I'm sorry we're out of time because of the connection issue, but if you have any questions regarding evaluations, please feel free to contact me separately in person. I'll be more than glad to answer any questions. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Toastmaster Anil. Indeed, beautiful and valuable insights on effective evaluation. As now you have learned effective evaluations, you should also learn the art of conflict resolution, as conflicts exist everywhere and can be detrimental to a team if not handled properly. As Greg Edmonson said, let's not do it your way, let's not do it my way, let's do it the best way. And we are lucky that to help us out with this, we have an international director, DTM Aletta Rochette, with us, who has 10 years of professional background in marketing management and has won several recognitions. She shall be talking about conflict resolutions with teams. Kindly give a round of applause to DTM Aletta Rochette. Over to you, DTM Aletta.
Thank you so much. And it's wonderful to be joining all of the district leaders from District 122 and the club officers. And I've been listening with great interest to the sessions you've been having since I've been online. And I can see there's tremendous quality being offered. I'm thrilled to talk about conflict management. You know, conflict is one of those things that you always think will happen to someone else. But as a friend of mine said, just think of your family. Often it's hard to even sit down at a table without some form of conflict coming up at odd times. It's a part of everyday life. So it's nothing unusual. And in the Toastmasters context, Your team is not always one that you've chosen. And even if you had to choose your team, there will be conflict. It's just a matter of when, not a matter of if. One of the best lessons I've learned about conflict management, I learned through my son. He was at school, I think he was about 10 years old, and he was the victim of a bullying incident at school. And the headmistress called me to explain to me how she dealt with conflict in the classroom and in the playground. And I learned so much from her. What she did is she invited everybody into her office, the bully, the person who was bullied, anybody who'd witnessed the event. And she didn't kind of welcome them into the office to say, oh, you're in big trouble. She said, just come sit down and talk. And she had these big couches in her office and everybody sat down. And she said to me that she'd learned the most important thing is to shine a light on the conflict. So everybody had to say what they saw, what they felt, and what they experienced. So the bully got to account for what he or she did. The person who was bullied also got an opportunity to say how they felt. The people who watched and did nothing also had to account for what they saw and what they felt. And I've used that technique so often when I've managed conflict in teams. Often, because we don't like conflict, we tend to underplay it and pretend it's not there and not address the issue. That lesson, combined with another lesson I learned from a mentor, have helped me immensely. I had someone on one of my teams I was working with. I don't know if you've ever experienced that someone on your team irritates you simply by breathing. They seem to push all the buttons, and no matter what you do, they just look at you and you're already in a bad mood. And I was dealing with somebody like this, and it was driving me mad. I was getting angry, I was getting frustrated, and I didn't like the person I was when I reacted to that person. I approached one of my mentors and explained the situation to him. And I said to him, what can I do? And he said these words I've never forgotten. He said to me, Aletta, the movie going on inside that person's head makes perfect sense to him. You need to approach this with empathy. I didn't want to hear empathy. I wanted him to show me a way that I could show this other person that he was wrong and get rid of him. That would have been the best case scenario. But once I understood that he was just as passionate as I was, he was just as talented and committed, he just was seeing the same situation from a different angle. And if I approached that with empathy and by putting all my judgments aside, I had a far better chance of resolving the issue in a positive way for him and in a positive way for me. So my best advice to you is when conflict comes your way, which it will, the first thing you need to do is to address it, shine a light on it. What I like to do is get everybody involved. For instance, if your conflict is within your team committee, your club committee, call everybody together and give everyone a chance to be heard, and everyone has to listen. Address the issue, and it's not like Aletta did this and I didn't like it. A better language to use would be, what I'm observing is this, that, or the next thing. And you can say how it makes you feel, but don't hurl accusations at the other people. Just say what you're observing and tell the impact, share the impact of what you're observing, and let everybody do that. Often what happens is you or I might be doing something that's causing conflict, and we're totally unaware of it. We are unaware of the impact of our actions. But when 3 people on that committee tell me that it's really frustrating them because I'm not giving them clear deadlines, or I'm giving them no time to do things I'm expecting to be done tomorrow, if I hear that from 3 people, I'm far more likely to listen because I've heard it now a few times and to understand the impact of what I'm doing. So I think what I'm trying to say is mostly, not always, mostly, the person who's causing the conflict isn't doing that with malice. They're not doing it to ruin your day. They're just doing it because they're seeing the problem differently. And you have to allow them some flexibility to do it in their own way and to bring their own personality and style to it. But we each have to own up to the impact of that on the rest of the team. And each one of us has to be ready to change what we're doing. Just because I think it's a good idea doesn't mean that you must agree with me. And if it doesn't work for everybody else, as the leader, I need to change. Because I'm there for the team, I'm there for our members, I'm not there for myself. With conflict, the more I thought about it, the more I realized that we all play games with conflict. And let me explain to you what I mean. Often someone will say to you, I'm not doing anything to escalate the conflict, but just by doing nothing, you actually could be contributing to the conflict. By not speaking up and saying that it's a problem, that could be contributing to the conflict. Other people will say, well, I really wanted to end, but the minute that meeting's over, they go and gossip behind that person's back and tell them all about the conflict all over again. So what I realized is that some people want conflict to end. I'm one of those people. I always like conflict to be temporary, and as soon as possible, I want to get back to normal and move on in a positive way. But other people have got a different relationship to conflict. I've met some people, and maybe you know someone like this, who is unhappy if they haven't had conflict by lunchtime, because then they think they're ill. It's just their personality. They love conflict. They love an argument. I'm not like that, but there are some people who are like that. And some people don't want conflict to end because it can be useful to them. It can make them feel important. It can make them, give them an opportunity to tell someone else that they're doing something wrong. So try and understand what relationship each of your team members has to conflict. And as human beings, we are all quite complex. Often what we say is the problem isn't the actual problem. So someone might say, I don't like this new way of doing things. But the real issue is that no one asked their opinion. And if you resolved that and asked them for their opinion, then they wouldn't have a problem with a new way of doing things. So you've got to, I think, just approach conflict with a heart of kindness, which is not always easy if you're irritated. But that, in my experience, is the best way to deal with conflict. My husband always says to me, he's not a Toastmaster. And if I'm experiencing conflict at Toastmasters and I'm getting frustrated, he says to me, Aletta, are you having fun? I say, no. He said to me, you joined to have fun. Change something. So sometimes these conflicts become such a big thing. And actually, if we take a step back and just are willing to give a little, it can be a far easier thing to resolve. As long as we don't always need to be right, and as long as we don't always need everyone to do things our way. Now, we've still got 6 minutes left. And I was wondering if somebody would like to ask questions around conflict that I could answer. And I don't know if the easiest would be for them to do it on the chat or whether you'd like them to unmute. Madam Master of Ceremonies, what would you prefer?
Do we have any questions? The people who want to ask questions, kindly raise your hand. I will call you one by one.
Thank you.
Anyone who would like to ask a question? So we have one hand raised. Abdur Rafi, kindly unmute yourself and ask your question. Technical host, can we unmute him? Okay, that's it.
Thank you. Yes, yes. Can you all hear me?
Yes, we can.
Okay, so my question related to conflict resolution is that what if you know for certain or with a certain degree of certainty that the other person involved in the conflict or creating trouble, their intentions are not good? Like sometimes obviously you're assuming things, but sometimes you actually know, you find out through other sources. So how do you resolve that kind of conflict or resolve a situation in that case? Thank you.
That's a very good question. And as I say, we've all got different relationships and different agendas when it comes to conflict. My best advice in that situation is to actually call that person and have a conversation with them. And just say to them, this is what I'm observing. This is what I'm experiencing. I'd like to hear your side of the story. And ask them to be honest and to admit to what they're doing. Some people will, and some people will still play games, say, no, 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 you're interpreting it wrong. I'm not doing that. But meanwhile, you do know that they're doing that. What I've learned when I've been asked to mediate in conflict situations is that you can do what you like, you can show them best practice, you can demonstrate best practice, but ultimately all those people involved make a conscious choice of whether they're willing to resolve or change or move on, or whether they're willing to hold on to the conflict. And sometimes we have to accept that some people aren't willing to let go of conflict. It's not easy to manage. I've been in situations that have been dreadful, very stressful. But ultimately, that person has a choice. But if you have an honest conversation, you do have a chance to hopefully get to the bottom of it. And sometimes when you speak directly to someone causing conflict, they back down. They need to feel heard often, more than anything else. So I wish you luck with that one.
Lovely answer. Toastmaster Faria Iqbal, please unmute yourself and ask your question. Toastmaster Faria.
Thank you very much, DTM Meleta. My question is related to lobbying in case of conflict. At times it happens that there are 2 or 3 people with same opinion or same mind. Then there are teams within a team that have different opinions. And if certain group or certain person has power, they use that power to force their opinion or their agendas on the whole team. So how do we deal with that situation?
That is very tricky, and I've seen that in action many, many times. There are different ways to approach it. One of the ways is to contact each person individually and try and have an individual conversation to try and understand where they're coming from and to make them feel heard. As I say, often just listening to someone can de-escalate a conflict. And then I think just kind of ask them, what are they wanting to achieve? And again, this is what I'm observing. This is how I'm feeling. What is your agenda? What do you want to have as the result of this? And by speaking to each one individually, you might have an opportunity to build a relationship with each one individually, which means, and it only works if you listen intently in the beginning. The more you listen, the more you give an opportunity to build a bridge of understanding between the two of you. So my advice is contact them individually, listen intently, let them say everything they've got to say before you respond. And sometimes that can shift the narrative a little bit. And then once you've spoken to them individually, then perhaps you can get together as a group. Again, depending on how committed they are to their own agenda, they may or may not change their way of operating. But the fact that you've contacted them and you've given them an opportunity to be heard makes you stand out as a leader and gives you the best chance of resolving the situation. If there's no communication, there's no way forward. So I encourage you just to keep those lines of communication open. The other thing I do, and it's not easy to do, is to thank the people who ask the hard questions. And often just by honoring them and saying, thank you, I know that you raising the difficult questions, I appreciate it. Even that can de-escalate conflict. I wish you good luck. Conflict is not easy. It's not a textbook thing that you hear the theory and you can resolve every conflict. But if you can do it with heart, with empathy, and with a lot of listening, then often you can make progress, which is a celebration in itself. So I see my time is up. I'd love to spend more time with you, but I wish all of you the very, very best. District 122 has done so well this past year, and I know that this time next year, we will be celebrating what you've achieved this year. I wish you every success. Thank you so much for inviting me to be part of your club officer training today.
Thank you, DTM Aleta. Indeed, conflicts are healthy. So resolve your old conflicts and get new ones. Shine a light on your conflicts, but there can be many other challenges that an open club can face, and we need to shine a light on those issues and challenges as well. To shine a light on those challenges, I would like to call our very own division director, who is a professional engineer with a management career, DTM Atif Irfan Sheikh, who would be talking about challenges of an open club. Over to you, DTM Atif Irfan Sheikh.
Okay, thank you very much. Am I audible, visible, clear? Kindly confirm.
Yes, you are.
Okay, great. Let me recall something. The three of us were sitting like this. It was March 2017, and we had just ended a meeting of Lahore Toastmasters Club. There were only 5 people in the meeting, and 3 of them were guests. And the persons who were sitting after the meeting like this, one of them was the founding president of Lahore Toastmasters Club. And he formed that club 8 years back from that time. We were sitting silently looking at the faces of each other when he broke the ice and said, "What to do? Should we close the club?" It was very shocking. It was very shocking. A club which was performing marvelously good was going to end up. But we didn't lose hope. We said we will work with full enthusiasm. We will bring the same zeal and zest in the club. And we are going to change whatever is happening. 2017 passed away. We were in 2018. The club went well, started improving. And in 2019, something really great happened. The membership went sky high. The people were so happy. We were getting notes of appreciation from all around the country. And the club gave birth to a baby club. And that was the second club in Lahore. Second community club in Lahore. The first club formed in 2008 was Lahore Toastmasters Club. And then we had Ravi Toastmasters Club, which was formed 11 years after that. 11 years. And in that year, 2019, Lahore Toastmasters Club rocked. We won President's Distinguished Award. Another very interesting thing, the baby club rocked as well. The baby club, Ravi Toastmasters Club, also won President Distinguished Award. Wow. So this story, starting from back 2013 when I joined, and then in 2017 when I saw that all, and 2018, 2019, I had a lot of things to learn from that time. And I'm going to share my experiences with you as I'm going to talk about the challenges of an open club or a community club. So in these few minutes, I'm going to talk about three sets of challenges that are real challenges, that are the biggest challenges to me when I see the community. First of all, the inception or the birth of a new club. So whenever we see the corporate clubs and we weigh them with the community clubs, we know that forming a corporate club has something in the background. Like we have management, we have confidence of employees. They know that if management is doing something or someone has taken the lead, of course, they are going to add some value because the organization is conducting trainings. They are doing so many things for us. And it's a great thing to do, building a Toastmasters club in the organization. But what goes for community club? Whenever we form a new club, we have maximum 4 dual members. Most of the members should be new because it's a new club, but we have some transferred members as well. What are the expectations of transferred members or new members? So they want the club ambience to be great. They want to get excellent mentors. They want speech slots. They want opportunities to grow. They want to be club officers and much, much more. So this is a challenge, a real challenge. This is forming a set of challenges for the executive committee of that club. And it's going to be a real leadership challenge. How to meet all these challenges, how to do all these things. So the most important thing that the club leadership has to do is to see very carefully what every member wants. What is he or she doing? How he or she wants to grow? What are the quality parameters that are required to be taken care of? All these things are very important. And in beginning years, 1, 2, 3 years, it's highly challenging because the clubs which don't get stable in these years, they don't have a very long life. So that was the first set of challenges I was watching in case of community clubs. Now coming towards the second challenge. And that challenge is gender diversity. So as we know that half of the population in Pakistan is women, and we supposed to do a lot for them because they have excellent talent in them. They have all the ability to be great speakers, great leaders. But what's the problem? We don't see much of them in the club. Again, I would make a comparison. In the organizations which form corporate clubs, the women there are comfortable. They know the people who are in the club, the people who are forming the club, and who are running the club. But what happens in case of a community club? So I happened to contact a few women and I motivated them to join a community club. And I got a chance to talk to their family as well. And that was a very interesting experience I would love to share with you. So we here in Pakistan, men are a bit more dominating and we keep a close watch that our women remain safe. And it happens all over the world, but we are more cautious about that. So the questions from the family of the women who were intending to join the club were like, they were not really questions, they were objections. What were those objections? The first one, the club, I don't think is at a suitable place. The place is not very safe. The building where you conduct the meetings, we are not sure that what are the security measures taken inside, what is the environment. Who are your club members? what are their ages, what are their professions, what they do. So there are so many questions, so many reservations, so many objections from the families as well. So if a woman wants to join a club, she has to watch all these things and she has to satisfy her family on that. So what we should do? First of all, we should make an attempt to bring our families to Toastmasters. Our kids, our spouses, our brothers, sisters, everyone. They should come to the club. They should become members. That would be a great source of motivation. And many of our Toastmasters are doing it, and I really commend them for that. And one good way of getting rid of this is that whenever a female member is planning to join a club, the female members of that club should be more welcoming. They should be in a better contact, and they should contact the family of that woman so that they can give them all the comfort that she is safe there. We are all in the club. We are having a great time. We have great members. We have great environment, and nothing wrong is going to happen. So this comfort is very important if we want to improve the gender balance in our clubs, specifically the community clubs, I would say. Now coming towards the third set of challenges, and that challenge is the biggest challenge as far as I have seen, and that is cost. So did you know that approximately 170 Pak rupees make just $1? And per capita income in US is $55,000, and in Pakistan it's $1,200 only. So with this situation, with this economic situation, how can you expect that so many people will become members? So it's a challenge, it's a bigger challenge. And it's not just this cost, membership fee, renewal fee. There is so much more. Event charges, and then coming from home to the club, going back, and so many expenses out there, refreshment, so much. So this is all which is very challenging. These are the sets of challenges, and how to convince the members to absorb this cost. A technical way is to tell them in a very effective way that what is the return on investment, ROI. You are paying a lot of money in so many things, and in your skill development, you are attending trainings, you are enhancing your education, but what's the real value you want to succeed in life? And what's the cost of getting that skill, improving that skill? Is it worth spending a little amount of money? Yes, it is. And that's what we have to tell the people. That's how we have to convince the people. Become a part of those community clubs. So these are the three sets of challenges I have been watching very closely, and I keep them as on the top of the list. The first one was inception of clubs, new clubs, and how to handle those questions, how to manage those expectations from the new members as well as the transferred members. The second was gender diversity, and we can see that there are very few women in the clubs, and what are the challenges that faced by those women, and how to handle those challenges, how to bring them to the clubs. So that was the second challenge. And the third one was cost. How to satisfy a member that whatever he or she is paying is the right use of money, and he or she is going to get a skill which is not comparable to anything. So I'll just end up my today's talk, and I would leave a message for you all, that, for all the club officers. The challenges are meant to be for the people who can address them. sets of challenges are for the people who are real leaders. We are in Toastmasters for two goals: becoming great leaders and making great leaders. And we are not afraid of challenges because we are real leaders and we are going to change the whole scenario and we are going to be a great, great district very soon. Over to you, Master of Ceremony, with a lot of thanks.
Thank you, DTM Atif. I'm certain all the club officers are now ready with their secret weapon to limit the challenges and become great leaders and make new great leaders. These challenges were supposed to be faced by an open club or a community club. However, if you're a member or a club officer of a corporate club, that might come across some different kind of challenges. And to shine light on these challenges, it is my honor to invite a very passionate and a hardworking division director, DTM Rashid Dastaki, to share his insights on challenges of a corporate club. Please give a round of applause to DTM Rashid Dastagi, Division Director. Challenges of a corporate club. The stage is yours.
Thank you, Master of the Ceremony. Let me share my screen. So, I hope I am audible and visible.
Yes, and the screen is visible. Can technical
The
host
volume is
confirm
little
if
low.
sir is audible as I am unable to listen to him?
Hello.
Hello, DTM Rashid Dastagi, your voice is quite low.
I believe now I am more audible.
Yes, it's perfect.
Okay, thank you. So, we listened something about the challenges of an open club, and now we will see challenges of a corporate club. As you have seen, a confusion in front of a Toastmaster. So I will start with this quote: challenges are what makes life interesting, and overcoming them makes them more meaningful. So let's first see just type of Toastmaster: community club, you are aware, and corporate club backed by a corporate and having membership base from its employees. Just a split of between corporate and community club worldwide, and overwhelming majority of community club worldwide, but corporate clubs has also their reasonable share. Few notable corporates having corporate club worldwide, but the most important thing is that more than half of Fortune 500 countries have their Toastmaster clubs. So we can hope that someday in Pakistan we will have more than half of the listed companies having their Toastmaster club. This is just the numbers. So in Pakistan, situation is that the majority is with corporate club, and if we add up these institutional clubs, then the share is even bigger. This is the companies having the corporate club, many renowned companies. Now we will talk about the challenges of a corporate club. So I will split it into three: formation, operation, and growth. I have some problem in seeing the timing screen. I will love to see that because I want me to be in a. Okay, no, it is visible. So formation. Challenges for formation. First and foremost is buying in the contest of the key stakeholder in an organization. There are different types of organization, as every human is different, so every organization. For small organization where there are few stakeholders, the decision-making process is much simpler. But in a large organization where there are more stakeholder, decision-making process at times become complex and lengthy. Because everybody perceives things in their own way. Like I remember when we were started effort for a corporate club in our company, and we had a showcase meeting, a very successful showcase meeting, and our district director was witness to that. After that, when we approached to key stakeholders for their feedback, so somebody appreciative of this effort and said, just go for it. And somebody said, ye nahi chal sakta. And somebody said, you know, we are from a manufacturing companies and having more engineers, and we like them to be more in love with machines than human. So different kind of feedbacks. So, but to overcome this, we have to apprise them about benefit of this activity, and we have to engage them from very beginning in this process. Then role of HR department is very important. We have to align HR department with the person who is basically desirous of forming a corporate club. So have to align the HR department, because HR department is mainly responsible for the human resource development. The third set of challenges is the cost. Though it is true that, and we always propagate that this is the cheapest available training for development in the world, and it is so, but still, you know, in an organization or in a corporate, mostly the young professionals interested in this kinds of program, and when they are at the initial stage, even it is difficult for them to spend so much of money. So this is the challenge, but to overcome this challenge, management should be taken on board, and a acceptable mechanism should be agreed with them to subsidize the fees for the prospective members. But still, because we want to make members somewhat responsible for their progress, so some cost burden should be shared by the member as well. But it will be different for each organization, because it is true all the organization provide training opportunities to their members. Then composition of the club, we have to find the membership base from the different departments. So sometimes it also becomes a challenge. Key to success, as I earlier discussed, involvement of all stakeholders from the very beginning, and then the effective tool for laying the foundation of every club is a showcase meeting. So a successful showcase meeting actually is the first step to convince the key stakeholder and the prospective members for the worth of this program. And for this, all the Toastmaster role is very important, because whenever somebody is holding a showcase meeting, so Toastmaster should come to help. And now we are a district, I think this is become easier now. Then awareness of Toastmaster educational program, because showcase meeting is actually a front picture, a broad view of a Toastmaster program. But we need to do some more to convince the stakeholders. That is about the Toastmaster educational program, how it will benefit the members. And what are the competencies, what is the program, pathway program and competency this program wants to develop in the people, and the certification program of the Toastmaster International. It will give more insight to the stakeholders and members, and they will become more interested in this program. Then arrangement of subsidy, I earlier discussed to decide a mechanism with the management for cost sharing, involvement of HR department and participation of all department I already discussed. Then comes operation. When a club is formed, then operation. Challenges like an open club, attendance in the meeting, because all the members are the working employees of the organization, and meetings mostly held during the office time. And you know, they are busy in their routine job, and sometimes when they are agreed to attend the meeting, but at the 11th hour, they are called for some job. So this is also a challenge. But I think the club ExCom has to play a dynamic role in this and to make every meeting successful by involving department heads and members all the time. All the times. Here, this thing is interesting. This is the Mandlo matrix of the stakeholder. So there are different type of set of people: high power, high interest, high, low power, and high interest, and low power and low interest. So high power, high interest, like the CEO of the company or the department's head or the HR heads. So they should be always involved in the process, involved in the meetings. They should be invited time to time to participate in the meeting, in important events, in speech contests, and after the meeting, they should be apprised about the happening and the members' progress. This is the most important. Then the high interest and the low power, mostly the member of the club, they should be informed about the happening of the meeting, agenda of the meeting, sending agenda of the meeting in time, and then holding a quality meeting, giving them proper opportunities to learn something out of the meeting, and then posting the information about the meeting in the end, and acknowledging the best speakers and the best role holder and all that. To continuously keeping them engaged is a very important for the successful operation of every club and also for a corporate club. Then growth. So because corporate club mainly draws membership base from the employees of the company, so there is the most important thing for a corporate club is a survival, because average age of a corporate club is not more than 3 years. So this is very important. First is that though there is a survival of club and number of members will be mostly similar all the time, but we have to avoid the negative growth. And for this, as I earlier said, a successful program and successful progression of the member through the quality meetings will be very important for this. And when people see difference in them, then they will become more involved in the process. And if we will be able to produce few fine Toastmaster out of those members, then your club will float smoothly. With this, I like to conclude with this: difficult roads lead to beautiful destination. And for Toastmaster, a successful corporate or community club is the most beautiful destination. Over to you, Master of Ceremony.
A round of applause for DTM Rashid Dastagi. Thankfully, all the challenges are limited by our club officers. It's time to serve the members. But fewer members, more members, no members. How to accommodate members? As we all cannot imagine a club without members. So let's learn the insights of putting members first from our dignitary, DTM James Edward. We are honored to have him with us. He is a regional advisor who has received a plethora of accolades and recognitions from World Health Quarters, from being Toastmasters of the Year to Area Governor to getting an Excellence Award. I would like to invite DTM James on the floor. Please give a round of applause. DTM James, who would be talking about membership first.
Good. Thank you, Madam Master of Ceremonies, to our District Director, DTM Engineer, to our Program Quality Director, to our Club Growth Directors, the rest of the District Officers, fellow Toastmasters, ladies and gentlemen, Assalamualaikum and good afternoon. It is my privilege to be joining you all and helping you to learn more on today's session. In 2016, I was elected as the 7th District 79 Director, the youngest that time. And I made it sure that we have a working slogan. Our working slogan that time was members above all. More than a battle cry, more than a working slogan, it is actually a commitment statement for our members to prioritize their needs, to encourage all the area, the division, and even the district leaders to focus on the needs of the members. I am delighted to be conducting this session, which is entitled Putting Members First. Today, we're going to touch upon the Toastmasters International structure for us to know how it operates. Also, we're going to talk about more on why members are important in our organization. And once we determine its importance, we're going to find ways on how to support the members. Now, presenting to you the service flow of Toastmasters International, we are delighted that we are assisted by staff based in Denver in the USA, and it's our world headquarters. Next to the world headquarters are the policy-making body of our organization, which is the board of directors. And I'm happy and delighted to hear our international director, DTM Aleta, who has given us some tips on conflict resolution. She represents us in the board of directors, being the Region 11 International Director. Next to that are the regions. And do you know that there are only 22 region advisors over the world, and I'm humbly one of them. Next will be the districts. District can consist of 7 or 8 divisions, but in your case, you are considered as a territorial council, which is expected to grow more in the coming years, and we hope, inshallah, it will happen. The districts are governed by the district council and the district executive committee. Following the districts are the divisions, which is headed by the division director together with the division council. Next are the areas headed by the area director and the area council. And of course, maybe you will ask, normally a division must have a 15 to 16 healthy clubs, and an area must have at least 4 to 6 clubs. And talking about clubs, in each club, there are expected leaders to help and govern the members at the club level. And usually this is administered by the club executive committee headed by the president. Now, where are the members? While we know that in each level there are members working and serving, the ordinary members are on top because you are the reason why this organization has been operating for the past 96 years. So give yourselves a round of applause because it is because of you that we are here in Toastmasters. Now, using the chat box, I want to hear from you. Why are members important in our organization? Let me hear your thoughts. Share your opinion, your feedback. Why are members important? Do you feel important in Toastmasters? All right, our chat feature has been enabled so that you can share your insights, because TI is at the heart of humanitarian organization. That's great. Thank you, PQD Talha. Keep it coming. Let me hear why members are important in our organization. Okay, maybe from the dollar sign, I assume that it's money or finances because they paid. Yeah, actually, it's a logical reason because they paid, but at the end, what will they get from us, from that payment? Because it's about public speaking, all right? We learn from each other. Wonderful response. They make it grow and better, maybe as personal growth or professional growth even. They are the source of learning, networking. Yes, because first, you are a member. And a member said, because members are the strength. I think this is very beautiful response. Members are the people that will make a healthy society. Wonderful, Toastmaster Wali. I like your answer. Every new member enriches the community. Again, from PQD Tala. And members are the source of quality. Those are wonderful responses. We already know at the back of our mind why members are important. So allow me to summarize all the points that you have raised. Members are, from the picture, are the building blocks of our organization. Without the members, we cannot exist. And why members are important? Because they are linked to our club goals. Do you know the club, a distinguished club program? It's a 10-point program that is intended for the clubs to know how healthy they are. From point 1 to point 10, it all involves the members. Points 1 to 6 are educational goals. 7 and 8 are new members. And 9 is all about, 9 and 10 are all administrative, about the club officers, about the training that you have. So all it boils down to club goals. Without the members, it will not be possible for the club goal, for the clubs to achieve their goals. Secondly, if the clubs are not achieving the goals, then it might impact your district. And the district is very dependent on the success of the clubs primarily. Do you know that the districts are relying on the distinguished clubs apart from the membership payments and the paid clubs? So all in all, the foundation of district success are the clubs. And the clubs, if they are not successful through their membership programs and events, that will lead to, inshallah, it will not happen, the failure of the district. And finally, it will have an overall impact on the branding of Toastmasters. For an organization that is dependent on first impressions, it's really difficult for us to attract potential new members if we are not taking care of the members. Our members are so-called ambassadors to the community, to the organization, to our society in general. So if they will talk about Toastmasters positively, we don't need to market more our Toastmasters, because through the word of mouth, through the positive publicity, we can gain more. So all in all, members do affect our club goals. Members affect the district success, and in general, it is affecting our branding as Toastmasters. Again, let's use the chat box. I know that we already know the answer. But I would like to know your insights. I would like to get more feedback from District 122 members. So answer this question: how can you support your fellow Toastmasters? Not only in District 122, now that we are meeting online, there are probably more than other members in other districts. So you, as a Toastmaster, how can you support your fellow Toastmasters across the globe? Yes, how can you support your fellow Toastmasters? By mentoring. That's great. Being an EXCO, club should own its member. Okay. And from Saad Shoaib, speak good things about Toastmasters. That is, I think, a noble reason to help your fellow Toastmasters. Attend meetings. You remember your Toastmasters promise to attend and deliver speeches. Take up roles. It is wonderful. You are not only supporting your club, but you're supporting yourself, because every time you are taking roles, you are learning. Creating positive environment. Yes, that's a good reason also for supporting other members. By encouragement and motivation. Wow, I believe that as Toastmasters, we should be the #1 source of motivation for others. By sharing our innovative ideas to make learning experience more interactive. That is from Toastmaster Wally. That is a beautiful insight coming from you. And I would like to agree that whenever we share our innovative ideas, it leads and it yields positive results. Make them realize that they are at the correct place to develop their leadership skills. Yes, I would agree with Toastmaster Modasir. Toastmasters is the best place to make mistake, no, but don't do it as a habit, because we are here to learn. And I think there's no other organization that allows that culture. We grow by probably learning from the mistakes. There's always an opportunity for us to be evaluated and grow. Remind them why they joined, ensuring those goals are being met. Yes, from time to time, it is good that we are being reminded of why we are here in Toastmasters. Follow them up to keep on delivering speeches. Great. Maybe Toastmaster Muhammad Imran is the ex-president. Okay, he said he's ex-president. Maybe at one point, he served as vice president education, because normally the vice president educations are the ones following up for roles in the meeting. We can have online session to develop bonding. Yes. Earlier on from PQD Talha, we are encouraged to have a variety of programs apart from our regular meeting. And finally, allowing maximum prepared speech slot by splitting table topics. Yes, we have to give equal opportunity for all. Fellow leaders and Toastmasters, I am delighted to see these generous responses from all of you. I know I didn't make a mistake, that you all have an idea why members are important in Toastmasters. So let's move forward. Now, how can we support our members? Okay. Now, I'm not talking as a regional advisor here. I'm talking as a plain Toastmaster. The very essence of our Toastmaster is first to understand that members are coming to our clubs because of a certain purpose. It could be overcoming the fear of public speaking. It could be they wanted to throw their hats into the speech contest. It could be they want to take this learning from the club and bring it to their organization or companies. So first, pattern from the Maslow hierarchy of needs. We as members also have this hierarchy of needs. We have to understand that the basic need is for us to survive. For example, a new member is delivering the speech. His need is to overcome his fear. And then after a while, they will assess the club. They have to realize that they are belonging in a safe environment. They will also look at the quality of the environment or the social atmosphere that we're providing to them. And then eventually they will look for that feeling that they have to be acknowledged and recognized for every role that they have fulfilled. And when they realize all of this, that's when they have realized their actual potential. So this is basically the hierarchy of needs. We have to put this by heart that all of us in Toastmasters have their specific goal and specific need that need to be addressed. Other than that, if you are a club officer, the very first thing that I recommend you to do is to run a member interest survey. Why it is important is for us to find commonalities. Okay, so you want to deliver speeches? Fine. Do you want to be a better leader? Fine. Do you want to be the speech contest champion? Fine. We have to get and capitalize on what they want to achieve. Basically, as club officers, we have to address two anxiety. First, the anxiety of public speaking, the fear of public speaking. And the second is the anxiety of being new or being a stranger to a new group of people. So this member interest survey can address all those concerns, and it will help the club officers realize what the members are looking for. As we all know that in Toastmasters, we don't sell speech contests. We don't sell speech manuals. What we sell in Toastmaster is something special called positive member experience. And that can only be given if we keep on meeting and understanding the expectations of our members. There are also other activities that can help retain our members at the club, like conducting induction ceremony for the new members. They will feel special because during induction, we ask their commitment, but at the same time, we let them feel that they are valued as addition to the growing Toastmasters. Of course, like what I've said, we have to set expectations clear. If you are shaking or squeezing oranges, of course, you're going to expect orange juice, not apple juice. So it's like that we are matching during orientation of your members what they're expected to experience and to get from Toastmasters. Next, it could be mentoring, just like what I've seen in the chat box earlier on. We provide support to our members by considering serving or assigning a mentor to someone who thinks he needs or she needs more development. So serving or assigning as a mentor can help support a member fulfill what they really want in Toastmasters. Because in mentoring, it provides a support, a one-on-one support to the member to see that they are delivering the speech projects and meeting the objectives, fulfilling the leadership roles as per the club leadership handbook, and so on and so forth. But what I recommend best is for the clubs to regularly conduct what is called moments of truth. Now, if you were sick, hopefully not from COVID, you go to the doctor and the doctor will ask you some signs. What do you feel? Are you having some symptoms of cough? Something like that. It is also healthy for our clubs to be checked from time to time. And this is done by conducting the moments of truth. The moments of truth, which was touched upon by our program quality director earlier on, like what he have discussed, touch upon the first impressions, membership orientation, fellowship variety communication, program planning and meeting organization, checking also how many members we have, membership strength, and the power of giving recognition to our members. These are all healthy checkups that we have to do in our club. If you see that, like I mentioned earlier on, membership orientation or new members orientation can also help retain the members by letting them know what are the supposed responsibilities and commitments that they have to fulfill in the Toastmasters. Fellowship and variety, other than the regular meeting, you can provide other network activities such as fun day, such as talent night. You see, this we have to strive as club officers and leaders to make sure that the members would stay and continue with us. Finally, allow me to leave this quotation from our founder, Dr. Ralph Smedley. He said that ours is the only organization I know dedicated to the individual. We work together to bring out the best in each of us, and then we apply these skills to help others. This is a very empowering reminder for all of us that while we keep ourselves enriched, developed, we really have to also accept the challenge that later on all these talents, all these gifts, all the skills that we have taken from the organization, from Toastmasters, for the very main purpose is for others to be lifted up. They said that we rise, we grow by lifting others. So this is a welcome call for all of you to consider that whatever you do for others, for other members, for the Toastmasters, you are doing it for yourself because ultimately our goal is for you to grow as a good individual here in Toastmasters. With that, I wish you good luck on your journey and career. And we are here, your leaders, just in case you need something to clarify or support, just approach our district leaders and myself if there's some questions that you would like me to address. Thank you, leaders, and wish you good luck. Back to our Master of Ceremonies.
Thank you, DTM James. It's beautifully explained. Now we have got a huge number of members in our clubs. And now we need to learn how to be compassionate towards each other to retain the members. It is said there is no way you can have happiness without head, heart, health, and humility. And to share insights on how small and seemingly insignificant actions of kindness have had huge impacts on our clubs and the individual members. For the said purpose, we have a very gentle, kind, concerned, and an amazing distinguished Toastmaster with us, our very own, none other than immediate past District Director, DTM Samir Hamid. He would be talking about humility and humanity in Toastmaster. Over to you, DTM Samir.
Thank you very much. First of all, can you hear me? Can you give me a thumbs up? Yes? Excellent. Excellent. Fellow Toastmasters, a 1,000-mile journey begins with a single step. I have asked this question to a number of Toastmasters. Why did you join Toastmasters? And basically, I have received 3 types of answers. Number 1, I want to improve my public speaking. Number 2, I want to improve my leadership. And number 3, I want to improve my networking, or perhaps a friend asked me to come to Toastmasters. Let's do a very small poll, and I'll request our Zoom master to put up a small poll with these 3 questions, and we can all vote. It will take a minute. Please, everybody vote. We'll vote for 1 minute, and then we'll end. Come on, please vote. You have to show you're awake.
20 seconds remaining.
Sorry to interrupt. We are just getting the result of the poll. Might be because of the co-host. हमारे पास poll नहीं आ रहा.
I can see the
Yes,
poll.
yes. Co-hosts can see the result, but they cannot vote. So unfortunately, you you have lost your right to vote at this point.
Thank you. Noted.
All right. I think that let's end the poll, please. Okay. So the main thing that people came for. Sorry. So okay. So the main
Can
thing that
everyone
people,
see the results?
Okay, let's share the results. Can everybody see? So mostly it is that people came here to improve their public speaking skills. Correct? You can see that, the poll?
Yes, yes.
Okay, now this is, of course, I think quite natural, but let's get to another question. Why have you taken a leadership position? After all, you're not being paid for it. You're probably spending a lot of time, effort, and perhaps even your money in promoting Toastmasters. No one can take your job away, cut your salary for not doing Toastmasters work. Any of us can walk away right now, today, tomorrow. No one can stop us. And this is true for every club officer, district leader, or club member. Do you know why we stay on? We stay on because being in Toastmasters is a labor of love. We stay on because we love everything it represents. We stay on because we believe in the core values of integrity, respect, service, and excellence. And most of all, I think we stay on because we get respect, affection, praise, and support from our fellow Toastmasters. And that is the key. Over the years, I have seen incredible displays of ego, mostly in business organizations. I've been involved with many organizations in the past. Like I was once at a dinner function at a business organization, and the chairman was scolding his assistant. Why? Because the podium stage was too low and he wanted to sit very high above the members because he was a very important man. Very important indeed. Much above the ordinary members. I also was at another business association, and two senior people who were friends for over 25 years were stabbing each other in the back just to get the top position, which I found so absolutely crazy. I once was given a magazine of a professional organization, and the photo of the chairman was on the front cover. On every page, it was about the great man himself. It wasn't about the association, it was more about the chairman. When I saw this behavior, it makes me feel very sad. And you know something? People remember this behavior. No matter what happens, no matter how clever you are, no matter what, but people do remember this behavior. Toastmasters is a very different organization. In most organizations, you have the workers, the lower management, upper management, and then right on the top, the CEO and all. However, as both DTM Tala and RA James have already mentioned, the organization chart of Toastmasters is flipped. The members come on top, club officers and district officers right at the bottom. And this is something that if you want Toastmasters to be successful, this is something that has to be the first thing in your head, that I am there to serve the members. This is also clearly mentioned in the leadership handbooks. As R.A. James has already mentioned, we are servant leaders. What is a servant leader? A servant leader is a person who focuses on the growth and well-being of the people to where they belong. In the traditional leadership, it involves the accumulation and exercise of power. But here we are not all about power. Toastmasters, after all, is a platform which helps people improve themselves. And this is something that we need to focus, that we are there to help people improve themselves. And that is the only purpose of where we are standing. I know that in Pakistan, servant is a negative word. And when I say servant leadership, people say, well, we are not servants, but think that we are like a servant to the members and the membership will grow. And don't forget, we are all about praise. For example, when we say that a club is distinguished, it means that they're getting praise from the other clubs in Toastmasters International. When we say that, that we are a DTM, who knows what a DTM is? Only we do. And that too is a form of praise. And this is something I've always felt from the core of my being, which is so important. When I was at a Region 11 meeting in May, many senior people from the region were congratulating me that, 122 is the first district to become Smedley distinguished. My response was that it was all because of the team who made it possible. DTM Tala was also at the meeting, and I told all the participants that he was a key person, and I acknowledged him. And this was 100% true. It wasn't flattery. I meant it from the bottom of my heart. I mean, tell me, can the club president make the club distinguished without the members? No. Can the district director do anything without a teamwork? Absolutely not. And I would also say that in my life, I have seen people who've gotten a bit of money or power or position, and it has gone to the head. They've gone bonkers. Their neck becomes stiff. They don't look down. They start looking at the stars ahead and they feel that they're very important. And you know what? The pride makes them unpopular. And when they leave the position or when they fall down, people are quite happy about it. Titles come and go. People remember how you treated them. They don't care about your title. They don't care you're a president or ex or district leader. They don't care. If you treat people nicely, if you give them respect, if you give them love, if you give them praise, they'll remember that this person did this for me. So in a volunteer organization, there are two main characteristics. If you want Toastmasters to be successful, you have to do two things. Be humble in all matters and give credit and praise to your team. If you do that, we will be a district in just, I would say, a couple of years. This is the one thing that you have to remember. Be kind to people, be humble, treat people right. Finally, Toastmasters is a force of great good. It takes ordinary people and makes them become extraordinary by helping them with their confidence and self-image. And if you are doing anything for Toastmasters, you are acting as a force of great good in this world. Over to you, ma'am. Thank you.
Thank you, DTM Sameer. Very thought-provoking insights on being kind and compassionate and putting others ahead of you. So in our course of club science, we have learned what the core values of Toastmasters International are, what are the challenges faced by our club, how to solve conflicts, how to retain members, and most importantly, how and why to be humble, kind, and compassionate with others. But have you wondered till now that without the growth of clubs, we cannot challenge our limits. We cannot practice all the advices we have learned from our district directors, division directors, and the trials. So for this, we have a very amazing speaker with us who would be sharing insights on surveys is rewarded with growth. Put your hands together to invite DTM Malik Omar, who is serving as Club Growth Director for 2020 to 2021. He has acted as a club coach of Rawalpindi Toastmasters Club and mentor of eMamba and ICAP Toastmasters Club, a chartered accountant by profession and a trainer by passion. Put your hands together to invite DTM Malik Muhammad Umar.
Thank you, Toastmaster Jaya. Am I audible and visible?
Yes, you are.
It was a cold evening of December 2018 when I received a call from an unknown number. As I picked up the caller said, "Hello, am I talking to Mr. Umair?" I said, "Yes, this is Umair speaking." And the caller said, "I attended your club's meeting a few days back, and we would love you to host a seminar on communication and leadership skills in NUST with our students." This, ladies and gentlemen, is how our collaboration with NUST EME started back in December 2018. During that seminar that we conducted, we pitched them the idea of speechcraft sessions. The session was so successful that the students immediately signed up for speechcraft session. We offered them speechcraft session free of cost. I ordered the speechcraft manuals from my own pocket from Toastmasters International. And in February 2019, 6 weeks journey started of speechcraft session with NUST students. Every weekend, I would drive for 1 hour to NUST EME campus, conduct 3 hours speechcraft session there, and then drive for 1 hour back to my home. And I was fortunate enough to have some crazy acquaintances who joined on the wagon with me, who joined on that journey with me, and together we successfully conducted that session with the students of NUST without taking anything from them and paying for the manuals from our own pockets, paying for the fuel from our own pockets, and spending our weekends with them. That, ladies and gentlemen, was our way of serving, our way of giving it back to the community and to the society. What did we get out of it? Growth, our personal and professional growth, and the growth of those students who attended that speechcraft session. Fast forward to February 2020. It was a cool morning. I got up at 6 a.m., did my breakfast, got ready, and left for Islamabad. It's a 1 hour journey from my home to Islamabad. I reached Magla Hotel, Islamabad at 7:55 a.m. When I reached there, I called then District Director, DTM Samir. "Sir, I'm here." I had a wonderful conversation and enjoyed a sumptuous breakfast. I can tell you, Magla Hotel has very tasty breakfast. I enjoyed it with then District Trial. It was the day of club officers training for the last year, when all those 3 people had flown in from Karachi to conduct that training. It was a full day training. And as I bid farewell to DTM Zunair, who had traveled all the way from Lahore to support the area, as I bid farewell to DTM Zunair and the district trio, as they left for Lahore at 5:30 p.m., I left for my home. I reached home at 6:30 p.m., 1 hour long journey. As I entered home, I got ready. I picked up my sister, and together we left to attend the meeting of Rawalpindi Toastmasters Club. We reached there at 7 p.m. Both of us did the roles that were assigned to us. I had 2 roles that day, one prepared speech and one tag team role. We got free from there at 8:30 p.m. We reached home at 9 p.m. I dropped my sister off. I picked up my better half and I left for Islamabad, 1 hour journey to attend the wedding of a friend. All of you must be thinking how hectic it must have been. Yes, it was hectic. All of you must be thinking, I could have skipped the meeting of Rawalpindi Toastmasters Club that day. However, I did not, ladies and gentlemen. Rawalpindi Toastmasters Club was going through a tough patch, and I, being the area director and club coach could not disrupt the momentum that the club at that time had started gaining. That's why I attended that meeting. This, ladies and gentlemen, is the story of one day of my life. However, if you ask the people who are very close to me, they will tell you that this is the story of every single day of my life, full of activities, full of service, without any break, always being there for those who need help. What do I get out of it? Growth, ladies and gentlemen. My growth, personal and professional, the growth of Toastmasters clubs, the growth of Toastmasters community, and of course, the growth of those people who share my vision, who believe in my vision, and who join me on that journey. And today, standing here, I can happily tell you that with that service, Rawalpindi Toastmasters Club, from considering to closing down that club, from being a club with only 5 paid members, from being at a time where the immediate past president had given up on the membership of club. The sitting president had resigned and given up on the membership of the club. In just a span of 7 months, the club became President's Distinguished Club, and the club went from 5 members to 23 members. And this would not have been possible without crazy team who put in the hard work, who believed in me, and who joined me and supported me throughout that journey. Service, ladies and gentlemen, service always results in growth. The more you serve, the better you will become. The better you will become, the better will be your club. And that eventually will lead to not only your growth, but also the growth of your club, Toastmasters community in Pakistan, and of course, those around you. Any organization, ladies and gentlemen, can thrive amid turbulence if all of us, yes, every single one of us, can own their role in whatever position they are in. I always believe that it is all about doing our best, serving others, and giving out our all, reaching out to people and uplifting them, whoever we are working with and whoever we are serving. Anyone, ladies and gentlemen, can achieve success. Anyone can grow if they consistently follow those small successful habits, if they consistently continue to serve, and if they consistently continue to strive for betterment. Have you ever seen a farmer, everyone? Have you ever seen a farmer? Raise of hands, please.
Yes.
Wonderful. A farmer, he plants the seeds, gives them water, gives them fertilizer. However, he doesn't come the very next day and start digging the soil to find out fruits and vegetables. He knows it takes time, it takes patience, and it takes trust in the process to achieve the result. The same applies to us, ladies and gentlemen. The more we serve, the better we will become. However, we have to trust that process. We have to be patient, and we have to be open to see the possibilities that are in front of us. In the words of Robin Sharma, just because we cannot see the success that is available to us in this moment, it doesn't mean that all the success is not available. All that is required is trusting the process, continuously serving, consistently striving for betterment, and the results will take care of themselves. Today, I challenge all of you to join your hands together, join me in making sure that we do the best in whatever role we are in, so that we can take Pakistan to next level and show the power of Pakistan to the world. Over to you, Master of Ceremony.
Thank you, DTM Omar. Beautifully explained. Now, again, I believe it's your session, so would you please lead it?
Yes. Yes, now we have a brainstorming activity. I would love the area directors. We are having a small issue with breakout rooms. So I would love the area directors, all the area directors, if they can lead the executive committees of their areas and brainstorm with them and come up with club leads that we can reach out to and we can work. Those club leads can be your educational institutions from your past, your university, your organization that you worked with in the past, or the organization that you are working with at the moment. I would also love you to brainstorm a few ideas on how you're going to induct 8 new members during the year to ensure that you make up for 2 goals on the DCP list. You have 15 minutes. We'll stay in the main room and we'll run some music to energize you. And I would love the area directors to take the lead on this. And after 15 minutes, every area director will have 1 minute to present their ideas and share those ideas with us. And then after this session today, we'll start strategizing on how to work on those leads and how to convert those leads into clubs and make Pakistan a district. Any questions?
Can I suggest something?
Yes, please.
Yeah, since we have everyone here, why not use the chat option and get everyone's feedback, kind of a brainstorming thing. So we can ask everyone if they know any, let's just start with an educational institute. And I hope the chat option is enabled for everyone. So everyone, please start putting in the name of any educational institute that you know of, that you feel can use, benefit, or has the capacity to start a Toastmasters club.
Yes, everyone, please let us start sharing the names of educational institutions that you have been part of, that you know that we can reach out to, where you have contacts, where you think that we can try getting in touch with them and try pitching them this idea of setting up their own club.
So just start naming some institutes, everyone. We are receiving some good names. Come on, educational institutes. Great. It could be a university, it can be a college, it can be a school, it can be a high school, it can be any form of academy or any educational institute, anywhere around you in your locality, in your city, or maybe in your village, any place that you feel can use. We are receiving some really interesting names here. Educational institutes, great. And something that I have not already mentioned is that we're going to hold you responsible for these institutes. So you will be going after them now that you have named all of them.
Going to scare them away.
Do we have an option to, delete?
You can't delete now. It goes down in history. And those of you who have not named any institute, we'll just consider that you have not been to any institute. So write a name. Just kidding, just kidding. Just, keep on giving us suggestions. So we see some really interesting names here. And we can all then now start thinking about them. Some really interesting names coming here. Okay, time up for educational institutes. Let's now think about hospitals or any form of medical institutes or medical facilities. Any hospital, medical facility, or allied, associated thing that you
can the timer please start the time? The activity is timed as well.
Come on, everyone. Medical institutes.
Housewife. I love that idea of having a female-only club as well.
Okay. Sialkot, that's very interesting.
National Hospital, Children's Hospital.
Oh, great. Now think of any other place, and not just the major cities. Okay. Hakim Salman Daud. Okay, I'm not sure how we have a Toastmaster club there, but audit firms we are having again and again. Audit firms are not medical institutes. We want medical institutes, hospitals.
But they are mental institutions, aren't they?
Yeah, we'll go to that as well. We are right now on medical. Okay, okay. Not much excitement in medical institutes. Okay, let's head on to which society do you live in? If there is any form of, a community center, if there is any community center in your society, in your building, in your apartment block, come on. FCC Community Center, Sadkabad, Ayub Medical Hospital, Aptabad. I hope you don't live there. Name some societies. Okay, Lahore High Court Bar,
Sihar Organization, Sheikh
Model Town Park and Club,
Model
interesting.
Town Park and Club.
Natsana is an interesting one. Differently abled, okay, that's a good suggestion. Karachi Club, Center for Social. Come on, people, where do you live? Anyone living in any society which has a community center? Dream world.
Faisalabad
Okay.
Tax Bar Association.
Club, interesting. Global Shapers Community. Okay. DHA Community Club, interesting. Barrier Towns, wonderful. I recently got connected with someone, and that's a society on Canal Road. It's what's the name of society? It was something like Canal Park or something of that sort, and they were interested. They don't have a full-fledged community center, so think of that kind of a place. Canal Gardens is that place. Okay. Okay, so we have had educational, medical, and housing societies. How about what should be next? Corporates. Chai Khana, interesting one. Any corporate organization, any place that you work, any place that you have been an employee with, any place that you know of, any place that
National
you
Highway Authority, Unilever, Metas Safety, Masood Textile,
Please also mention the city.
PPL, Farouk Group of Companies, Nishat Group, Jazz, Rafan Maze, PTC,
S&P Global,
Ahmed Group Karachi, Khadi Karachi, ICL Lahore, TCS Courier, S&P Global, NBP, Procter and Gamble, IBEX Karachi,
keep it coming.
Telenor Islamabad, HBL,
Interlude,
Al Karam Studios Karachi, Allied Engineering, Society of Writers, interesting.
NetSol, CPPI.
Yes, we have an interesting message from our Area 1 director that we are hoping that all the names that are coming, we have links there as well, so that we can read to those
like
organizations.
I told you responsible later. This chat gets saved. But don't worry, we'll find.
So we have a track of all these messages.
We just need names, and if you can think of a place, we can think of how to connect. So don't worry if you can't think of any link there, but if you can think of a place, we can then come together and
find the link there.
Okay. Atomic energy. Which gives you an idea? Government organizations. Let's name government organizations.
Corporate schools, banks, Standard Chartered, NTDC.
Government organizations. Come on, everyone.
Army and
Navy could use one. Okay. NESPAC, National Bank, PASCO, CDA, GPO.
NESPAC, Educational Department.
PLCL is what?
OGDCL, RTOs.
LESCO, CPPA again, NADRA, NESPAC, State Bank.
PHP,
Okay.
Bank of
Bata,
Punjab,
Bata,
Weatherford,
Weatherford, Fesco, Excise and Taxation, Vasa. Interesting.
FBR,
Interesting.
SNGPL.
NAB. Okay. Right. Okay. Okay. So, which city of Pakistan, city, village, any far-flung area that you can think of where there should be a Toastmasters club?
To encourage you and to share something with you, I'm already working on with my team. We are already working on setting up a club in Sagoda. We have been in touch. I studied there, and recently I reached out to one of my old teachers, and they are very energetic and enthusiastic. And hopefully we'll be having a session with them soon. And hopefully that will lead to creation of a club in Sagoda.
Wonderful.
So all of you are encouraged, because together all of us can, individually we cannot. If we join,
okay,
we can definitely do miracles.
Interesting. Panu Akil coming from
Tando
Dinar. Jam. Bakar will hold you responsible for this. Murray, definitely we need to have a club in Murray. Why not get the next area contest to happen in a club in Murray? So all of you in Islamabad start thinking of places like that.
Wonderful. I'll be reaching out to Anil as well in assistance in setting up the club in Sagoda. He also has contacts. That's a wonderful and welcoming news, Anil.
Club will be functional in summer only. Which club?
The Murray one, I believe.
GB. Okay, okay, okay. Few online afterwards. Okay, so we have had a number of names. Now, I want you to tell me one place or one club or one organization or any place where you have a lead, a strong lead, people who you can influence, people who you can talk to, people who you can inspire, motivate, or convince. Maybe anyone of your siblings, maybe anyone in your close family, maybe any other person that you know of who you can go and talk to about Toastmasters. That place may be anywhere. PMI, Lahore chapter, Zishan Azhar, universities if they're open. Okay, I need specific places. Think of any place where maybe your siblings work, maybe, you know, any of your close friends work there. TCF, Zahid Jameel, NHA. So I see some repetition, which is great. Tabani School. So it means that these are the places that we can actually talk to you about and have a combined strategy of approaching them. ICL, Jinnah College, Martin Dow, Narowal and Sialkot. Any specific place there, Mohammad Yasin? IBA Karachi, ICMAP Karachi already has a club actually. Express is already housed there. Green Star, NED. My sister-in-law works as professor. Wonderful. That's amazing because that's the kind of links that we need. A professor leading a Toastmasters club is something which is really, great because you have strong support there. IBM, IBA Sakhar, GBM. GBM. Bar Council, Narwhal.
Yes, sir. Attack Refinery.
Attack Refinery.
PTI if possible. Interesting.
Yeah, very interesting speeches. Other than that, we won't say anything. Okay, we don't want to be political.
KPK Tourism.
Barrier University, Karachi, Muhammad Ali Jinnah University. Yes, you can ask a question, Zishan.
Yes, definitely. Zishan, please go ahead.
IBA, Center of Entrepreneurial Development, Shahid Qureshi, great. PSO, Wildlife Department, KPK. Okay, okay. Can't unmute. Let me unmute you then. Where's my chat? Can anyone please unmute Zishan Abid? Crescent Steel and Allied Products.
Thank
KU.
you, Zunaid, Toastmaster Zunaid. My
Yeah.
question is that there was a question which I got from a schooling domain, and they said that they want to, they have seen the activity being a guest, their teachers and their headmistress, and they want to have this idea for the school kids. But the question was the school kids, they come there for some time and then they move on. And kids club, is it being, this idea is being possible? And if yes, how we can make it that happen, and how we can be having the very first clubs of the kids starting from class 6 till class O levels, A levels.
Zishan, we can have youth leadership sessions with them. They work like speechcraft sessions, 6 weeks long, or we can also consider setting up gavel clubs. Gavel clubs are for kids, and we don't have one in Pakistan at the moment. We are trying to set up one. So these are the two options that we can share with them, and then we can see what is the situation at their end, then we can proceed accordingly.
Actually, we do have gavel clubs, Umair. We
Yes,
have one.
Yes,
I believe,
my bad, I missed that.
But yeah, so you can always start in gavel clubs and have the benefit that the students or the kids who join Toastmasters gavel club at such a young age, when they do become of age, they're amazing Toastmasters. And also the challenge of students leaving. It's the same thing that every university club, Toastmasters club, has this challenge that the batch then graduates and they leave that university or organization and move on with their lives, and then they many of them change their clubs. But still, in spite of all the challenges, it's still a good thing to have that kind of a club. So we had some really good brainstorming. The idea of all of this was to get you thinking. Now we will definitely note all of these suggestions that came to us, and we'll try to find leads. And for those that you have mentioned, you have some lead, we'll get in contact with you and try to develop a strategy where Umair and his team will be working with you and reaching out and planning some meeting or telling them about the benefits, and hopefully sometime really soon starting a club in that place or organization. But the objective was to get you thinking on these grounds. And now that you have started, our plan, of course, the target is to become a full-time district sometime really soon, which requires at least 60 clubs. But hey, 60 is not a big challenge. We are at 30. Another 30 is not a big challenge for us, considering the size of Pakistan, the kind of population that we have, the youth that we have. And look around you, look at China, look at India. India has 6 districts right now, and it's growing like anything. Of course, it's a huge country, but we also have a lot of potential. And what we'll do is we'll send out some forms, and you can fill them. You can think of about some leads in it, and you can let us know which are the organizations that you would like to assist us in starting a new club. And we would definitely want many new clubs starting, because it's a long journey. You can't simply start a club within a couple of weeks. It takes some time. So let's start that journey now. And in a year, or a little above a year, let's reach that milestone of a district, and then let's start working towards the next district, which is something that we want to go for. So with this, I'll just hand over control that I took from Umair back to him, so that he can kind of resume his session. And now that we are heading at our 6 p.m. mark, we will be closing this session, and Talha will be shortly telling you about our plans for tomorrow. It's going to be a very different session. I'm not going to talk anymore about that. Talha will tell you. Thank you, Umair, for this really amazing, interesting session. Back to you. And of course, yes, everyone can ask questions. We are looking at the chat.
Thank you, DTM Zunair. I guess I saw to ask a question, and Toastmaster Azam also has his hand raised. I'll quickly take your questions, and then I'll hand over the control back to our Master of Ceremony. Yes, Tahir? Toastmaster Tahir. Can someone unmute him, please? The tech host.
Assalamu alaikum.
Welcome, Sam.
जी I have a question like South Punjab में Rahimia Khan, Sadiqabad, Bahawalpur, these areas are in this division A or division B, and how could I start club there? I have some strong links in those cities.
They fall in Division A. The links you have, set up a meeting with them, and then depending on how the meeting goes, we can proceed accordingly. I hope I've answered your question. I'll reach out to you and we can strategize that and we can set up a meeting and then we can take it forward from there. Yes, Toastmaster Azam, you have your hand raised. Do you have any question? Can someone unmute Toastmaster Azam? Tech host, can you please unmute him? Toastmaster Azam, you're unmuted.
He is unmuted.
What is the question?
You have your hand raised. Do you have a question?
No, I raised the hand, I think, during your session.
Okay, thank you so much. Thank you. So that's all from my side. Thank you so much for being such a wonderful, energetic audience and sharing these leads with us. I'll be definitely extracting all these leads and I'll be getting back to you, and together we'll try our best to make Pakistan a district. Over to you, Madam Master of Ceremony.
Thank you, DT Amalek Kumar. A very well-regulated session, and yes, we have gathered a bundle of amazing ideas. With this, put your hands together to invite DTM Talha bin Hamid, who would be giving his closing remarks for today's training. Do we have DTM Talha bin Hamid?
Yes, I'm here. Thank you so much, Toastmaster Jaya. First of all, I am overwhelmed. Only yesterday, a day before yesterday, I was telling DTM Zunair and DTM Umair that this is the club officers training. And I am in a state of panic even before a club meeting, even when I'm not the president or not even on the XCOM, but even then. So, yeah, I couldn't have been more grateful to all of you who participated today and to all the speakers and trainers who contributed today. I believe it has been an amazing session for everyone. And once again, it brought us all together. So without further ado, one question that I was being asked was that how many sessions can we get away with not attending? My answer to that is that we would love it if you attend all the 3 sessions, but the minimum requirement is to attend 4 hours of club officers training in tomorrow's session, which will happen on 11 a.m. and end at 2 p.m. That is the crux, because that contains the individual club officers training sessions. And without that, you won't be able to say that you received club officers training. So tomorrow's session is crucial. Even if you could not attend today, you can plan for tomorrow's session and then the 3rd session on August the 15th. And if you attend 2 out of 3 sessions with the middle one in between, part of it, you have cleared your club officers training target. Let me briefly take you through what's in store tomorrow. First of all, there will be a very interesting session by our public relations manager conducting effective and secure online meetings, which we all need. Then we'll have individual breakout sessions for individual roles, and they will be conducted by people who have successfully played these roles in the past. So the most exciting part would be that it won't be myself and the district TO. So you can already start celebrating, but the further cause for celebrating is that these will be the people that you know and love already as being successful leaders. So there will be Toastmaster Imran Rana, Toastmaster Mehroz Aziz, Toastmaster Ahmed Sajjad, Toastmaster Myra Razak, Toastmaster Ghulam Abbas, and DTM Ali Amjad. Unfortunately, sorry to break your bubble, but I'll be conducting the VP education session because I believe it ties nicely into the club quality thing. But other than that, you get to experience all these amazing people. Then we'll have a session, a sort of a break, a draw and guess games, which will be led by division directors and area directors. Then we'll have a session on membership retention and growth by DTM Malik Mohammad Umair. Then we'll have our past regional advisor, Ali Shahbaz Ali. He'll be conducting a session on parliamentary procedures, and that is something that we need further insight in. Then there's a very, very interesting panel discussion which will be conducted by our district champion of public speaking, Toastmaster Muhammad Farooq. It will have participants from District 105. It will have our own Jaya Jaki, Toastmaster Jaya, and it will have DTM Iftikhar Taj, and all of these 4 people will be sharing their individual success stories about their clubs or their areas, and we'll all be the better for it, and you'll find some very, very interesting individual insights in these sessions. Then there will be a short session from myself developing club success plan, and there will be a vote of thanks by district director Zunair Zafar. And finally, after we have gone through all these sessions, there will be the moments of truth. And this will be the session where all of us will break out into individual club groups, and we will work on our own moments of truth and how work on ways on how to improve the club and how to further take it to further heights. And that will be the last session of tomorrow. So I'm looking forward to seeing you all. And I'm counting on the fact that the attendance in tomorrow's session will, inshallah, be even better than today's, because how many of you were listening when I told you that this was kind of compulsory? The tomorrow session was compulsory if you want to claim the credit for club officers training. So once, even if you couldn't attend today, inshallah, you'll have the recording, number 1, and number 2, you can attend tomorrow's session in August 15, and you'll be good. So that was my part for today. And over to you once again to Master of Ceremonies, Toastmaster Jaya.
Thank you, DTM Talha. With this, I adjourn the session. So thank you everyone for being here.
I would like to add one thing, that we will start on time like we did today. So be there on time, because we will not wait, because we want to end on time, and our planned time was 6, so we are 9 minutes late, which is still fine. But tomorrow definitely will be again starting on time. This is something that we intend to keep with ourselves. So be there on time. See you. Take care. There is the 200th meeting of CA Toastmasters Club about to start in like half an hour. So if you're not tired, then join them. If you're tired, then definitely join them, because then you'll feel relaxed and you will feel revived. And maybe they'll serve food or anything. I don't know. They have not promised me anything, in spite of the fact that I am a speaker. Usually chartered accountants are really rich and they get to spend money a lot. I'm not sure about this club though. So, but I'm really hopeful. If there's any of their ExCom members, please tell us. Do you have free food there? No response. See?
Everyone brings their own virtual food, and we can have food together in front of our laptops.
Take care. See you tomorrow.
I'd like to request 2 things.
Yeah, please, sorry?
Yeah, I'd just like to request 2 things from everyone. Firstly, we are having the Rawalpindi Toastmasters Club session starting very soon, and the theme is Wanderlust. So if any of you are travelers, this will be an amazing session. And secondly, can we please get a group picture? If everyone can turn on their cameras, let's have a few pictures.
Oh no, it's late. Many of the people have actually left.
Well, those who are left can have their photographs taken.
Yes. So thumbs up, everyone. All right, we're done. Thank you so much.
Thank you.